Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the live show where we just dissect the market and find every single popper. How about Tesla today? TSLA. I mean, I've been saying all week, just wait for the earnings, just wait for the earnings. It's fine. It's going to bounce off of there. And I just been really getting into the options as of recently, and I've never seen anything like that before. Holy cow. If you had an option on that thing from yesterday, it went ballistic today. So that was TSLA, obviously Tesla, and them options were just printing money today. It was insane. So let's see what the next one's going to be because we find them all, and let's dissect the market tonight. And so, all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. How is everybody? Hope everyone had a great day, and the market wasn't too bad, mostly green for the big caps and the Mag 7. Couple healthcare was a little red, couple other ones were down, but mostly popping up off of that Tesla news right there. So Tesla was carrying the load today. And here we go. Let's get cruising. And QS, how about that quantum scape? I wanted to say space. I always do. Looking at that for the earnings as well, saying it was going to pop off, and that one went nutty. Opened at 613, ran up to like 703, had 69 million in volume right there. So did jump quite a bit QS, and that was another solid one right there. But again, Tesla was just insane today. And CCTG, do you remember that one? That CCSC Technology International Holdings. That one ran up even higher today. That one popped up like a maniac as well. CCTG, it opened at 210 and got up to 425 today. So that one did run pretty high up. So that was a big one. So that was a couple poppers, and we had other ones, but let's roll through the list and see what's going on. I added a couple at the after I posted it, so let's just do them real fast. SXTP, that 60 Degrees Pharmaceuticals, was down 3 cents, pulling back, hitting that bottom. We're going to watch to see if it bounces off. It was up 2 cents in the after hours, SXTP. And let's take a look, hitting that bottom, and it could very well easily bounce off of there tomorrow. And it is setting up pretty bullish up here. So I could see it trying to roll off or at least bounce anyway. So keep an eye on that one to try to do a bounce. CLEU. Let's look at that. CLEU. Let's see what it's up to. It was down just a hair, a little more in the after hours, nothing crazy. It's just trading between that channel of the 20 and the 50 right there. And it did pull back on the chart. Let's see, because this one could get rolling. Yeah, it was looking better yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not gonna say it's not gonna curl right off of that 50 because they do bounce off of there a lot. So it could just be a little dip and rip situation. So we'll keep our eye on that CLEU in the morning. I'm just looking at it on the stock charts, but yeah, it's sitting at some really good support right there at the 50, and it could easily bounce off of that. It did pull back, but we've watched so many of them just curl right back up and move, probably more than any other time I've ever really seen them do it. And again, the market's wacky, but I'm telling you, these last couple weeks, and you can tell, I was saying it the other week, you can see it starting to shift. And I called it out about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was saying it, and now you can really see it. And that's why these things are just kind of off, I think. And I think it's kind of that shift. I was looking around, can't really tell any other reason besides what that would be is like I said, that shift. We might get back to like a normal market, how it's supposed to run. And holy cow, it'll be crazy. I'm telling you guys, it'll be so insane. These next 90 days could be like life changing for you. Um, if you just take the ones that you need to trade smart and trade them smart. Don't go crazy and try to trade 100 of them. Take like today, Tesla, perfect. I mean, it was yesterday, it was money. And we knew for the earnings it was going up. It was so easy. And boom, you don't have to pick a bunch of them and try to play them. You pick the safest one that you're the most confident in, that you're like, hey, this one's going to run. Even if it's not going to run 100%, I know this is going to run and it's going to be a good one. I trust it, and that's what you go with, and you trust your gut on them too, and you trust that chart. And I'm telling you, Tesla was saying it was beating the earnings. I mean, even though it was down, everybody was worried. I wasn't worried one bit, and honestly, I wish I bought a lot more option calls, but I was just kind of experimenting the last few weeks, and uh, and now I know. Trust me, I know. So we are going to be having a lot of fun. So that was CLEU, and again, it could be just bouncing right off of there, but and we'll go through the pennies, we'll look at them, the ones that want to pop early in the web bull, we'll get them nailed down, and it's great training exercises and trading exercises just for your brain and everything else for stock charts, and then yeah, we'll nail down everything that's perfectly an easy setup that you know is going to be money in the bank, like how Nike was during the summertime. You just know sometimes you're going to be patient. Obviously, we're going to jump in the other ones, why that one's setting up, but you already know that one's like a 2 month or two out, and boom, you know that's going to pop. There's going to be a ton of them that are going to set up like that, and like I said, the next few months could be crazy, guys. So that's how the charts are setting up. And I've been telling you guys, I know most of you has been listening since the beginning, which I greatly appreciate. And you know, in the summertime, it's exactly what I've been saying. So I was calling it out from 3 months ago, and it's running exactly the way it looked, it wanted to, and it should. And if we get these charts back to normal, like I had mentioned before, oh man, it's going to be money in the bank. So here we go. Let's rock and roll through this stuff. We don't have to really discuss anything else. And I think Saturday, real fast before I do the next one, Saturday evening, I'm going to try to do a show about options and just what I do. And like I said, I am definitely no expert, but have been doing very well with them. And I talked to my buddy Josh today, asked him a few questions that I had, and I definitely understand the basics. Let's say that, and I'll obviously learn as I go more. And how we were laughing today, I was like, how crazy is it that, you put me through a course and all that, and then 2 weeks later I get hit in the head and forget it all. And we were kind of laughing today, but I do know the basics. I asked him some stuff that I wasn't sure about that I knew he knew. And I think I can definitely pass along enough information from my experience to just give you the idea of what to do, because I know a lot of people have asked, and I'm not gonna lie, it was one of them things that I was kind of hesitant to do because it's intimidating is the word. It's intimidating. It's a they sell it to you like it's the hardest thing in the world and you can lose your shirt. And at the end of the day, you just don't want to be selling put options on things with like different kind of option calls. You can get caught on them. But if you're just buying your call options and you want them to go up, if it doesn't hit the expiration date, the only thing you're losing is whatever you bought it for. And chances are it's way cheaper than what you would have been buying shares for. I can promise you that. So it's not as dangerous as you think unless you're doing puts, and we're not getting into that anyway, so that's not a big deal. And and then yeah, they he was blown away by this Tesla call today. I mean, he was just flabbergasted how big it went. And the Microsoft the other day that it went up so much that fast. And he was like, dude, if we just do that for a few days, and we've been trading and talking to each other, and I've been telling him which ones I like. And yeah, we're probably going to make a hedge fund. So look for that soon. I'm not going to lie, because we're going to destroy this thing and just keep on rolling. And my idea has always been to be able to take average day people and be able to let them invest how big money people would, because they're really the only ones that have, the opportunities to get into these big old you know, the big opportunities, really, the big hedge funds and things of that nature generally just want big money, but you can do it where you can do it with everyday people. And that's always been my goal and what I've always visioned. And it seems like it's going to come together. So, like I said, we'll get it all together, and any questions, we'll figure them out as we go along. We always do, but we'll just take my chart skills, and like I said, we learn how to trade even better than my chart skills, and your money in the bank, I promise you, it's been going perfect. I promise you. So here we go. Let's rock and roll now. HSDT, Helios Medical up 2 cents today and looking pretty good. Did pull back a little in the after hours, but let's just look at it on mine and see a little. It's just a little healthy. That one should start moving. It's on that 20 and looking good, and that 50 sitting there at like 67 cents. It's not looking bad at all. So HSTD or HSTD. HSDT, how's that one for you? HSDT instead is Helios Medical Technologies, and maybe they have HSTD or whatever STD, HSTD. I said HSDT, and yeah, there you go. It looks like it's gonna bounce up tomorrow, guys. So keep an eye on that one because it's looking pretty good. SXTP. Wait, I put that on twice. How about that? LQR. I put it on twice in like 3 minutes of each, like not even like 30 seconds. That's how quick I forgot that I just wrote it through four over and I forgot that fast. LQR. LQR house down 11, but this popped up today. I was gonna say, I thought I saw this on a chart or on a scanner earlier, and it was. It opened at 77 and ran up to 125. Its low is what, 53? So it did pull back quite a bit, but it ran up nice and it ran up to a nice support line up there. So I would expect it to try to pull back. It is right now, and that's LQR. So yeah, it had that big old spike and it looks like it's going to be pulling back. So you'll have to keep an eye on that. Now let's roll through our list. We'll just blast through a bunch of these. WINT, here we go. Windtree Therapeutics. Let's get rocking and rolling. It's at 84 cents. It did pull back some more, and we'll have to see tomorrow is going to be pretty critical on a Friday. And that 20's up there now, so I'm not sure. It might have been that pop up there to 120 was it for now, and it may have to wait for a little bit. So keep our eye on it. Its high was 91, and it came down to like 82. So it's sitting right there. I'm gonna look at it on mine, WINT, and it doesn't look too bad on mine. Just like some pullback right there. So yeah, we'll have to see it in the morning. It's like I said, it's either gonna ride that line, pop off, or get in the basement. I don't know if it really wants to get in the basement at this point. It could ride that line for a little bit down there and then get ready to pop, but you know it'll pull back as it does that. It could end up at like 60 cents if it starts doing that. So we'll keep an eye on it and see if it wants to bounce tomorrow. And that's WINT. And that is Wint. And we'll look at that bad boy in the morning. IXHL. Let's see what that's doing because it was just kind of making a base up there. It came out of the bottom or out of the top, I mean, and it looked like it wanted to curl back up there and it pulled back down, but still looks like it wants to go up there. I have to see what this did in the after hours. Yeah, it looks pretty good to try to run up. It looks like it tried to make some space right there. So I'll have to keep an eye on this because I think it wants to get back into that top. It just kind of pulled back a little bit on a good look. So it looks like a real healthy pullback and it has some space to run. I can tell you that right now. So it could cruise. And let me just look on here, IXHL. Yeah, I mean, it came out of the top, pulling back there, but like I said, it's making a nice base. Again, tomorrow is going to be another day for that one, critical time, because it's either going to want to try to pop back up and get into the top on that Friday for next week, or it's going to have to pull back. So another one, the first two, I definitely have to look at tomorrow morning to see what they want to do. Spirit Airlines. I was saying it ran up over 100% for us, and then it's gonna pull back. And like I was saying last night, I exactly said this. If it did run up in the morning, it's a momentum, but it's probably topping out because it's hitting the top. Gonna come back to either the 50 or 20. Might have one more pop, and I'm telling you, this company is not good. I would expect them to be trying to sell it, or something's gonna happen. Oh, look, today. Spirit Airlines agrees to sell 23 planes at 6:17 p.m. Uh, there you go. I mean, when's an airline selling 23 airplanes? I'm telling you, they're going out of business. They're someone's going to buy them. So Spirit Airlines, just like I said, Big Lots and whoever else I called before that one. Yeah, here's your next one right here, which is pretty wild. An airline, unless and honestly. The only thing that would salvage this thing is, like I said, how the economy is kind of trying to shift. something could bail them out. But other than that, I'm telling you, the company's in bad shape, and that is Spirit Airlines. And I mean, they're not the top-notch airline, so it depends who's going to want them. That's the other thing. So we'll look at it. We always do, and we'll keep it on there just to see how it works. And like I said, I think it's going to get one more pop off, and we'll try to catch it. So. FAMI, and then if they start declaring bankruptcy or anything, it'll be popping all over the place. So FAMI looking much better today. It did run up in the top, and I think it tries to get higher than yesterday's 53 cents. I think it even ran higher yesterday in that after hours. It ran up to 83 cents. Or that was 2 days ago, I'm sorry. And then yesterday it was at 63. And but yeah, 2 days ago it ran up in the after hours real high. It looks like it wants to try to get back up there. So it's trying to keep that momentum in the top again. So keep an eye on that bad boy. And here we go. Um, oh, look at that. ULCC. Frontier Airlines is in the talks to buy Save. I didn't even know that, but Laptop Travel just posted it. And here you go. Thank you, Laptop Travel. And there you go. You know how much I look at the news. If I scroll down on FinViz and it doesn't say it, that's about the extent of what I'm looking at generally. I mean, unless I'm really interested in something. But I wasn't that interested in that one, Spirit Airlines, but there you go. So, I mean, with just looking at the stock chart, you can tell, and I don't even need their financials or anything in front of me. If you give them to me, I can break them right down. Don't get me wrong, but I don't even need them on these public companies. So it's that's how accurate these charts have become. And I think from doing the show every single day, I was just saying it to Josh. I think it's gotten my eye even more keen. I mean, it was pretty good before. I think I'm seeing it even better now. And obviously, we're looking at over 100 and some charts at night and in the morning and just nonstop. And I always did, but not to the extent that I'm doing it now, where I'm breaking them down and talking about them. I think it's letting me see more and more stuff because I'm looking at them longer. Before, it was literally 3 seconds. I was flying through charts, and now we're looking at different things, and I'm breaking sectors down a little bit more. And I think I'm seeing it more clearly. And we're picking things out better too. So let's fly through FAMI. Here we go. Let's get rolling here. So that one should be rolling up tomorrow. CDT, Conduit Pharmaceuticals. That one was kind of popping up. Let me see. 11 to 13 today. It did get up higher yesterday. I remember it running up just like some pullback there, but let me see. It's bouncing between that channel right there. And yeah, it kind of just pulled back. I don't know if it's terrible though. It like I said, right between that channel, it was perfect. We probably even said it might yesterday between that 10 and that 12, and that's what it did. And it's up there at that 12. So it's in a pretty good spot, and I could assume that it wants to try to bounce around in there and get set back up, or it's going to just stair step its way up there. CDT, ITRM, this one was going up today. We talked about it yesterday, and it is curling up. I'm telling you, it wants to run up to that like 130 area. It's at 121. It opened at 113 and it got up to 122, and it's like at 121 in the after hours. So it does want to run up there. ITRM, and they have had a lot of reverse splits in their past, but again, it's not some. I'll tell you when the last one was. August 18th in 2022. So they haven't had one in a while. I'm not saying they're going to. It's over $1 and it's going to move up higher. But I know it has been diluted. Somebody was mentioning that online, but it is looking good to run. And like I said, it just grabbed my attention yesterday. It looked like it was setting up the run a little bit. So there you go. CHRO. This one was running up a little bit today. It opened at like 79, got up to 93. Yeah, and I was just making sure. Had a little bit of pullback because it closed in the 70s. So we'll have to see. It still looks really good on the FinViz chart. It doesn't look that bad on mine. So it is set up here. I could see it trying to run again even higher. And again, this one's kind of in between the channel. It popped up higher and dipped down lower, but it is setting up really nice there. I can't say that it's really bad. Let's put it that way. So CHRO. could easily get moving again tomorrow. So I will look at that one in the morning as well. So RIME, that's Algorithm Holdings, and it's called Rhyme, and it's just trying to curl up. So we know it's going to bounce around. It jumped up a little higher today. It opened at, well, no, it opened up at 46 and came down to 39. So it basically had to have gapped up a little bit though, because then it closed at 43. Yeah, so and then it opened at 44. So it gapped up a penny, went up a penny when it opened, and then started to come back down. And it is going to trade all over the place. So we know it's curling up. It was just pulling back a little bit. It'll probably try to curl up a little bit more tomorrow as it's setting up. So just keep your eye on it. It had a really good curl up yesterday and then pull back. It's just not ready yet, but this thing will get curled up and get blasting off sooner than later. The 20 is up at 47, but this is at 40 cents, so it's not too far off. And it will get blasting off, like I said, sooner than later. CERO, this one pulling back there, hitting that line. And I mean, it's not looking terrible. Are they reverse splitting or doing something? I'm not even sure if they are. I think somebody mentioned something today, but I don't remember what it was. And that 20 is up at like 9 cents. We'll have to see if it wants to try to bounce back up tomorrow. It could be all right, but if it doesn't, it might be done after that run up. And again, we caught that pop up the other day on, well, when did it pop up? It popped up in September, but it did pop up the other day. What day was it? Oh, the October 10th one. That's what I was looking for. October 10th, and it ran from what, that 10 to 12, and it ran over to 50, and now it's just been pulling back. So CERO, like I said, if it doesn't want to bounce up tomorrow, it could be a pullback one. So we'll keep an eye on it. And I'll put a little question mark to see if we want to keep it on. MSOS, here we go. CERO filed to sell another 700 million shares. So yeah, that one might be one to take off because thank you, Laptop Travel. And I knew I saw something today, and you might even have posted that, and I saw that. So I don't really remember, but there you go. They're gonna sell a bunch of shares, and that's never a good sign. So we'll have to see what's going on there. With that, you like when they're buying them back, to be honest. That means they're a little bit stronger than having to sell them off, but you can catch bounces off of everything. So we'll keep an eye on it. MSOS, the cannabis thing, talking about it yesterday. I didn't know what was happening. It was the mushrooms, and a lot of people left some great feedback about the microdosing and stuff. So if you want to check out some of the feedback, look at my I think I reposted most of them, but yeah, a lot of people talking about different ailments that it helped out with, and obviously it wasn't me talking. I know many stories that it's helped, and then you have personal experiences from other people. So you want to check it out. Like I said, it's not really something for me, but it can help others. So there you go. But MSOS was pulling back to that line, and it is just sitting on a support line. Let me take a look in the after hours. It may pull back at this point to set up. It might come back down to that 20 at 708. Let me see on here. MSOS. Yeah, I think it might pull back a little bit, but again, it still looks pretty solid there. So knew something was going on, and I'm guessing it was that info that we talked about yesterday. And now we'll have to see. It could easily bounce back up tomorrow. We'll take a look at it and see. And that's MSOS. HRYU. Oh man, this one just is getting set up in the perfect spot. I'm telling you right now, if it doesn't pop tomorrow, next week it's going. So just keep it on your list for that because I'm telling you right now, just by looking at one chart, I'll pull up the other one, but by looking at the second chart, I really know. And here, I'll even pull up the other chart. I mean, I only need a one chart real fast to look at it, and yeah, I mean it's going, guys. So HRYU, just keep an eye on it. It's at 19 cents and its resistances are like 22 cent, 22 and a half. And I could see it going right through that with no problem. So keep an eye on that bad boy because it wants to move. I can tell you that it's set up and it's right there. So I might actually have to look at that in the morning, and if it didn't pop off, we might have to check that bad boy out and go over it. So how about that? And then we can play that bad boy because it's just gonna run up. It should double itself with no problem. I would assume from 20 to 40. I maybe it don't get to 40, say 20 to 35 area. I mean, even 20 to 30 is a nice little popper, but it should get moving. So HRYU, it looks pretty decent right there. And we'll look at it. SDOT, that SATIC group was down 13 cents. And we ran this up on the split. Yesterday, it was sitting in a better spot on that basically resistance made a support line. And it just has some healthy pullback today. I don't know if it's really done yet, SDOT. So yeah, I think this one could run up a little bit higher. What's it have to get up to? 366 again. It could do that tomorrow and get cruising again. So we'll keep an eye on that SDOT. But that was one we were looking at with the split, and it did run up there. So that was nice. GDHG, Golden Heaven Group. And this one is trying to set up too. I mean, it was trying to before, and it did run up what on October 18th and the 21st. So it was the Friday and Monday, and this Monday, and it was hitting that resistance line, and now the 20's really coming down, and it was looking good before, but the 20's coming down for it. It's at 251. This is at 232 area, and it's kind of curling off that bottom right there. And I'm gonna look at it in the after hours. Yeah, it looks pretty decent there. It had a little pullback in the after hours on mine, but off of the other ones, it looks like it wants to try to roll off that bottom. So I'll take a look at GDHG in the morning, and we'll be able to tell maybe it's a next week or one because of that 20 wants to come down and it just kind of cruises across the bottom right there tomorrow and maybe like a couple days next week and gets really set up. So we'll look at that one. And that's GDHG. Oh, let me mark that. Just want to do that. ELAB. We were looking at it the other day and it was in a great spot and it did pop off. It ran from like 9 to 13 and a half, and then it didn't look bad and it still ran up a little bit. And then today it kind of pulled back some underneath it at 20. But let me just see what it looks like because I don't think it's going to look too bad. It's almost like a little healthy pullback and just sitting there. And yeah, this one's an interesting one for sure because it could easily bounce off that bottom. Doesn't look like it wants to get back in the basement and never really ran how it should. I mean, it popped up there, but the 50's up at like 19 cents. It should have at least got to like 14 or something. And it only got, well, it did get to 13 and a half, but I think it should have got even higher. It should have got to 15 cents. That's where it probably should have got to. And it has the possibility to bounce off of here and move. So we'll look at it in the morning in ELAB. If it's trying to bounce in the morning, you'll definitely know it is. So if you take a look at it, if you're interested and it's moving up, you know it's making that bounce. SYRS, this is one that ran up the other day and it hit that top. I thought it would get into the top, but obviously yesterday was a disaster for the market, and then it just didn't get the momentum. If it's going to bounce, it's bouncing up tomorrow because it's sitting right back on that 20. So, and yeah, check this out. Elab, Laptop Travel just posted the chart and he says has serious gap at 30 from September 20th. Yeah, that thing I'm telling you, it just has that look where it could bounce. So keep an eye on Elab in the morning, and like I said, you'll know if it's bouncing. And SYRS, same situation. It came back down to the 20 yesterday, kind of hurt it. I'm not gonna lie, but it's still bullish up there, and it didn't. I mean, it could really get moving. So keep your eye on this SYRS in the morning as well, and we'll see if it's trying to get curled back up. If not, it's probably going to come back down to that 50 at 185. So it did move up 4 cents in the after hours, and we're going to look at it tomorrow to see if it's going to have a little bounce play, and tomorrow it would need to. So yeah, that's why it definitely has a nice gap. That's for sure. Like I said, plenty of room. Laptop Travel says a gap, and I'm just saying it has plenty of room up there. But yeah, it just has a ton of room in its way. And yeah, from August 12th, it opened at like 510, and then the next day it opened at 185. So there's a big gap in between is what he's saying, and I just say there's a lot of room to run. So pretty much the same thing. Laptop Travel knows the technical terms, and I make up my own. So that's why I was just kind of explaining it real quick, because some people are like, is he talking about when I say this? And Laptop Travel uses the real terms and I use my own. That's pretty much what we're both saying, the same thing, but he's saying it the real way, and I'm just telling you what I see. So there you go, SYRS. So we're looking for that bounce tomorrow as well. And thank you, Laptop Travel, for posting that. Here we go. CETX, this one's a good one. Kind of pulling back and cross through there. And I think we may have to wait for the 20. We were saying it's way up there. And this thing, we just noticed, look, and I wanted to look at it today, and it ran around. It's gonna run around at it. What did it bounce around to? It got its low was 29 and its high was 30. Yeah, it didn't run around too much. It looked like it ran around more on the chart than it actually did. And I think it's just going to stay down here. And like I said, we know that look where this MACD is going to continue its way up. And then the 20's got to come down and grab it at this point. It did its little run. And, uh, and that was pretty much the day before it was curling through. I mean, we have them. It might have been a day or two before that, like 3 days before, 2 days before, and yeah, we have them pretty much timed out on these things. So this one may have to chill. And I know we were saying it the other day, but I just wanted to keep an eye on it just to see if that was the case, and it does look like the case. We'll see if it just wants to pop out of nowhere. BSLK. This one also jumped up. It never even really got up to that resistance. And now it's coming back down, and it did jump up over 63 that one day. Coming back down, but if it's going to try to curl back up, it's pretty much at this point, because it should be getting to its bottom. The low is at 36, 35 and a half, and today's low was at like 39, just under 40 cents, but pretty much where it was before it spiked down there for that other low before it popped up. Now, tomorrow, is it going to dip down a little bit and have a dip and rip? That's what you're going to look for. So it's either going to do that or it's going to try to move up tomorrow. And that's BSLK. So I'm definitely going to look at that as well. And a lot of these ended up getting put in like a pretty critical spot because yesterday was pretty red. And some of them that were really trying to move, like that SYRS, they got beat down. And they didn't necessarily want to come down, but they didn't have a choice. So it kind of throws things off there. So we'll have to take a look at BSLK as well. Excuse me, and just see what it wants to do there in the morning. WTO, here we go. WTO, and here we go. It's above that 20, and it's still just raw. I'm telling you, this thing's just going to crawl up one of these days and get moving on us. WTO has that look where it just runs flat. Now, I don't know if it just is waiting a week or two. I don't think it should. I think it would be too long if it tried to wait that long, to be honest, for that 50 to come down to the 20. I just think it would be way too long for it. And I think the 20 is going to have to carry this up and relatively soon. So keep your eye on WTO, and we'll see if it does get rolling. It looks like it wants to. I'm telling you, on all three of them, it looks like it's right about there. I would keep an eye on it. I'm going to put a little star next to it just to keep an eye on it. And it is looking good tomorrow. EJH, and this one was looking good as well. I was looking at it today. I thought maybe yesterday was like that big dip, and the basically that bottom dip. Today it dipped a little bit lower down to like 89 and a half. It's back up to 90 cents. And it another one, it's just below that basement line. I mean, just barely. And so EJH, let me look on mine. And again, another one that just is right there at any moment. Now, the 20 is a little higher on this. It's at like 98 cents, but again, 92.90 we're sitting at. If it pops off that bottom, it's going to end up catching it. And now the 50 actually just started to hook over. So it's looking a little better for that EJH. And hold on, let me see, because Laptop Travel dropped some news about WTO. So I'm going to go back to that one real quick. And U time on October 10th, the company received a notification letter from the NASDAQ listing qualification staff of NASDAQ notifying the company that the minimum bid price per share for its ordinary shares had been below. So they're either going to have to reverse split it or do something. And when was that? October 10th, you said. So, and that is that WTO that we were just talking about. Let me scroll down and just see. Okay, so yeah, on the 17th day, I guess they put that, and then they also announced a 1 for 25 split. So here we go. This is exactly what we're going to do with WTO. I'm glad you pointed that out, Laptop Travel, because now we can really assess it. Wait for the reverse split, because that's what it's going to wait for. We already know that. And then it's going to get set right up. I mean, it's dragging that bottom and it'll want to bounce off. And unless that 20 tries to curl up, but if they do that reverse split in the next few days, you don't want to be caught in them for that. So we like them right after they reverse split, they get popping. So that's what we're going to look for on that. And we will take a look at it at that point. So that is WTO. And let's take a look real quick at Penn. This one went up another. I told you guys this one is a good one. It went up 57 cents, and Penn is going to be good. So it's getting moving there. It's going to get up to that 19, like $20 area, 19.99, 20. It's going to get over that, get over 20 and get moving. I mean, it's not going to be huge right now, but it is going to get set up and get moving, and it's going to get really bullish. And they have earnings on November 7th, and I'm betting that they're pretty good. So that is PENN, Penn Entertainment. If you ever find out if Portnoy owns this still, I meant to look into it. And I kind of didn't they like sell it back to him for $1 because it was doing so poor. I kind of think that, like remember something like that, but I have no idea. You know how my memory is. So I have to look into that again. But anyway, if anyone knows, let me know. And so yeah, that's Penn. And here we go with VCIG. And that was down a penny today. Oh, that one's not looking so healthy again, huh? It curled through yesterday and then pulled back. And yesterday was the bad day. Today it could have easily got moving. And the 20's at like 11 cents and we're at 8.5. I mean, it was right there where it could have easily jumped up if it since it needed to. And I guess it didn't want to, but it is, I mean, it's not looking terrible, but it was definitely not the move it should have made. Tomorrow, look for a little bounce off of VCIG. If not, this one could be in a little bit of having some issues right there. So that's VCIG. We'll look for that one. WBA. Our Walgreens was down a penny. Oh yeah, that was the other company I was going. So them and Spirit Airlines, they might be hanging out together, the CEOs. They might both be looking for jobs real soon. Man, they're doing not well. And I don't know, you can't really can you really blame any CEO at this moment? Like the economy is so bad for every business model, especially if you have brick and mortar stores. The rent's outrageous. And then the theft is just so astronomical that people just take everything out of the store. So are they really even making money? They're paying all this rent, you're paying employees, overhead, this, that, and then everyone's just stealing shit out your store and no one's getting in trouble for it. So I mean, how do you run a store, right? How do you run anything? It's insanity right now. So it really can't. I mean, you have to hire like security everywhere. It's crazy. Even in nice areas. I mean, you can live in the nicest area right now and it does not matter. So there you go. And like I said, Walgreens not doing so hot, but it could get curled up right here for one more run and try to bounce back up to that 1076. It came back into the nines and it was in the 11s. And we basically were talking about that. And here we go. Laptop Travel found out for us about Penn. I'm interested. So Portnoy said he initially sold the company for 500 million and bought it back for just $1 on the announcement of the Penn Entertainment ESPN deal in August. Yeah, that's what I thought. I remember he sold it for a boatload of money, and then they weren't doing like they couldn't get it to move, and they just sold it. They gave it back to him for $1. It was kind of crazy. So. I'm pretty sure he owns the company still, and he got it back. He made 500 million on the deal, and then they gave it to him again for $1. So he could sell it back again for 500 million and make $1 billion off of it. And then they could actually screw it up a second time. I've heard so many stories of people selling um great companies and like things that are moving like that, and then the people that buy it just destroy it. And it's like, wow, what the hell is their thought process going into that? You don't even buy it then, just let the other person keep it going. So whatever, but yeah, he got a great deal on that. I mean, can you imagine selling it for 500 million and they give it back to you for, oh wait, he doesn't own Penn. He did own Barstool Sport. Oh wait, they got acquired by Penn, and then in August, Portnoy bought back Barstool from Penn for the fee of it. Okay, so he owns the Barstool part. Okay, okay, I had it a little bit off, but so Portnoy doesn't own the Penn Entertainment. They bought Barstool and then they gave Barstool back to Portnoy for $1. That's how it went down. So I was initially wrong, but he still got Barstool for, like I said, he sold it for like 500 million, and then they gave it back to him for $1. So it was crazy. So it wasn't Penn, it was actually Barstool, but Penn bought Barstool. So that's what it was. I remember he was promoting Penn and staying in Philadelphia area for a while. And when they were putting it all together, it was going to be a gambling thing. And I remember it was when Philly was opening up a bunch of casinos. So they had a whole thing going. He was going to do the sports gambling because that was legal. And but that was how it went down. And there you go. So yeah, he bought it for 500 million, gave it back to him for $1. It was the best deal ever for him. So there you go. Walgreens. Let's look at it. Like I said, we'll look and see if it can bounce up tomorrow, and the company's not doing great. So that's another one we can add to the list that's not doing well. NDRA, down 2 cents. And let's see, it honestly, the 20's hooking right back up on it at 22, and it's at like 29. So we'll see if it wants to pull back or just go back up. NDRA, it really could kind of curl back up if it wanted to. So we'll see. And that could be next week that it gets a little bit better. So we'll look at NDRA again. We'll keep it on the list and see what it wants to do. That U car was up today. I looked at it briefly, and it was up a little bit. Like I said, it ran up to 745. It's at 725 in the after hours. It's at 745. It opened at 722, and let me see, U car, yeah, 745, and this says it closed at 725, and that's where it is. And Finviz is saying 745. But regardless, it looks great. It's in a good spot. We are looking at it and it should pop off. So look at U car right there and it should get driving. So that one we are looking at and is moving up for us. So that's good. LGMK, let's see. Down a penny and it's not looking bad. Yesterday it was in a great spot and it's still not bad right there. So LGMK. Yeah, it's just a little healthy pullback. If it wants to run up again, it certainly can. So keep your eye on it. If it gets curled up, it could be a potential one. TRNR, let's look at that one, that interactive strength. And that one, oh man, that one was set up so nice, and yesterday just kind of destroyed it, and it should have kept running, and it didn't. It pulled back. We'll have to see if it can jump back up to this 14 cent area. But yeah, TRNR suffered too, from that pullback. See if it can recoup a little bit tomorrow, just like that SYRS. Both of them, they got smoked from yesterday, and it really, I guess it wasn't their fault. They had great momentum going into the yesterday, and they just blew apart with the entire market, just killed it. So it happens sometimes. I mean, there's nothing no one's going to be perfect with them, but yeah, that's exactly what happened with TRNR and SYRS. Both of them were should have ran yesterday, and the market didn't let them. And then today they suffered from it. So because they lost that momentum that they really should have had, it should have topped out yesterday, and now it's kind of scrambling if it can get back and do something. So we'll see what's up with them too, and that's why we're gonna look at them in the morning. But you can tell exactly what happened with them. Unfortunately, it does have, it's called the market for a reason. You just don't know. And there are situations that happen. And again, you can see it on the chart exactly what went down with them two. And yeah, SYRS should have ran way higher. And like I said, that TRNR should have went another probably 100% yesterday and just didn't do it. LGHL now, that one seems to want to pull back. And that was looking good and probably lost its momentum right around yesterday too. Not, it wasn't perfect. It could roll off, so we'll look for it to try to. It's coming back down, but it was making a base up there, and then yesterday it kind of came down under that 20. And like I was saying before, the line wanted to run. It did. I mean, it took off the one day on the 18th this week, and or was that was last Friday? It blasted off, and then it kind of made a base, and then yesterday kind of hurt it. So the Lions suffered from that one too, but we'll look at it. It could roll off of there because again, it wanted to roll. Holo, another big dip on it. What we were saying, it's 373. It got down to today, and it opened at 417. It's at 380, and it looks like it's coming down some more. So Holo coming down. Unfortunately for that, we'll look at it. We'll continue to watch it for that bottom and catch it. Easy go. Pull back a little bit today. It was looking great the last 2 days, and I don't think it was anything crazy. It just kind of curled through and hit that. I guess it hit some resistance. I don't know. It should have kept moving there, but it hit something. Yeah, it did. It hit that resistance right there at 128. It got up to 130, but it should try to get between that 128 and that 131 area tomorrow and try to bounce in between and get moving. So keep your eye on EasyGO. It did pop up the 22nd, which was what, Tuesday. And so it did move for us, but I would expect it to try to run a little bit more if it can. And it just sat there yesterday. The market didn't affect this one too much. And then today it kind of stuck there too. So we'll see if it can bounce back up. Let's look at that yin and that yang. The yin was down today and it just was looking kind of flat, but all the way down, it came down, what, 65 cents and up to in the after hours. I'm going to look at it on mine, get a better idea. Looks like it's still pulling back to me. It doesn't look like it wants to completely reverse. And then the yang was up. It was up over 6 cents. I know that. It opened at 361. It got up to 372. It did come back to 356, and it's sitting at that high of like, or at where it opened at 362. So it's right there, and the 20 is well under it now. And now all it has to do is start curling up and it'll start to take it. So it's in a much better spot for it to start moving. And let's see if it can actually start moving tomorrow for us. So we'll be taking a look at that, the Yang, and seeing if it can get cruising there and get up over that $4 and really get moving. So let's look at that Yang tomorrow. It should try to get curling and get moving. And like I said, it wants to. So now it's in a much better spot and it should get cruising for us. So we'll look at it and see if that's what it wants to do. MLGO was down 4 cents, and that could have been a dip and rip situation because it was trying to trade again between that channel. Yesterday came under the 20 and then it pulled back and it wasn't looking bad before. It was right there curled up on the 20 and the 20 and 50 were meeting. Maybe it sets up for next week now, but that might have been a really good dip. So watching that one tomorrow as well. I was looking at it today and was actually surprised it pulled back that much. So we will look at that one. APDN. Let me just roll through a bunch of these real quick. And if I could type this in, APDN, there we go. Yeah, I'll cruise through a bunch and then I'll go through the messages and we'll get everything rocking and rolling and know it's popping. So APDN, I think we're just waiting for that 20. We were saying it's at 38, so it could be a next weeker as well. It looks like it's just going to bounce up off the bottom and like kind of bouncy ball off of there until it comes down. And again, that could be next week on APDN. AEHR, This one was in a good spot. I remember this one because it's sitting on that resistance that was its or its support that was its resistance. Had a weird look today. It probably opened and closed right around the same price. There you go. And they did. And yeah, it looks like it wants to get moving. So this is AEHR. It looks like it wants to kind of crawl up there. So I'll have to look at it in the morning. I mean, it does. It's sitting right there. It's making a nice base right there at like that 1545, 1546 area. And it's keeping it above that. Like I said, it's making it a support line, the old resistance. So they usually like to bounce off of there, but it could fall down. I'll have to look at it. So keep an eye on that one. You'll know if it's bouncing. It was up 28 cents today. It opened at 1556 and ran up to 1584 and it's at 1557. So it moved a little bit and we'll keep an eye on that one. How about Tara? We were looking at that last night and I was like, hey, you know what? She is looking kind of good again. And it did curl up and I think this one might blast off tomorrow. So keep an eye on TARA because it was looking great today. It ran up 12 cents, maybe even more than that. 187 to 204 and looking pretty solid to try to run tomorrow morning, especially if it gets right back over that 201 and sitting at $2. So you're talking about a penny and it's going. So yeah, you look at it in the morning because Tara could be running. And how about Peggy today? She was moving up too, but I was looking at it as it want to curl. We know it. We ran it up off that split, and the 20's coming down for it. You might have to wait for it. It's at 585, and this is at 450. I think this one's another one that just tries to drag that bottom and keeps giving you that look like it wants to run. I mean, on mine, it looks like it wants to pop up a little bit more tomorrow. We'll have to take a look at it. So if it runs up, it ran up 32 cents today. And if it ran up 32 cents tomorrow, nah, it's still not there, but I don't know. Well, I'll look at it tomorrow and see. It's just giving me a mixed review right now after running up like that. So I'll look at PEGY in the morning, see if it still has anything. Quantum Scape, we looked at it before, but yeah, this one popped up. It could keep that momentum up to the top, but we knew it was bouncing off of that line and for the earnings, and that's QS. And again, look at it in the morning. Obviously, if it has momentum, you know it's running. So, and it ran up $1.32 today, over 25%. And that was QS ASML. Well, ASML. This was up $2.19. It's at $710. This is that one that put out the info, their earnings before, and it's finally looking like it's going to try to start curling back up soon. So the real bottom would have been like 683, but I think the new bottom is going to be 700. It's at 710, 711, and that's where the 7 basically would have run up to 720. So about right there is where the resistance and the support line is going to be. So it's got to hop up onto that 720. So you know it's getting up to there. And again, it's going to start curling up, and this one will start to move. And the resistance is going to be like 750 when it starts getting moving. So it's going to go from like 710 to around 750. So ASML, it is going to try to move, and that is the company that put their earnings out way early. So we'll take a look. And again, that one's going to have a lot of bounce around. So you can look at options. They might not be exactly that cheap, but you can look at them because you'll get some movement out of it for sure. And so that one, like I said, today's low is 706 and it ran up to 720. So it's pretty good price action right there. ASML. And let's look at our good old friend SVRE Saver One 2014 LTD, and it was looking great yesterday. I mean, talk about not many of them look this good that ran up like that, and then all of a sudden in the after hours they start announcing reverse splits and getting crazy. So then it dipped down pretty hard yesterday, and let's look at it today. It opened at 8, it got up to 9, and I mean, it looks like tomorrow it wants to try to play that bounce. When is the reverse split? It's what, the 28th, I believe it is. So it's Monday. So we have tomorrow to see if this bad boy wants to bounce, huh? Today, wait, is this today's date? The 24th, yeah. Today it opened at 557 and it ran up to 703 and its low was 552 and it's at 651. I was gonna say, what the hell is that already the reverse split? What? Oh wait, no, I'm looking at QS. What the hell? I'm like, wait a second, this ain't even the right chart. Hold on, let me put SVRE in my chart. That's what I meant to do. All right, this is a little better. I'm like, what is going on? All right, my apologies. It opened at 10, went up to 11, as low as 8. I was like, that's impossible. So it is curling down right there, but again, it could easily pull itself up tomorrow and bounce up. So we have to watch this one in the morning and see if it can. And if it bounces, it's going to have a really nice bounce, obviously, but it could definitely do it. Having a reverse split coming up, we have no idea. It's basically a coin flip right there. So you look at it in the morning and you know if it's moving, it's going to be moving and the 20s come down to like 12 cents. So even if you get 8 to 12, that would be nice. A little nice bounce back right there. So keep an eye on the SVRE for a little bounce back before the reverse split. We'll see what it can do. And I'm pretty sure the reverse split is Monday. So that's SVRE. And let's look at SXTC. That's that China pharmaceutical. Yeah, China SXT Pharmaceuticals, and it is sitting right there in a great spot as well now. So keep an eye on this. I gotta see this in the after hours. SXTC. I would expect this to try to roll off of there and get cruising, guys. So keep an eye on this one because I want to. I'm gonna mark this bad boy to keep an eye on and put a little star next to it. SXTC. It looks like it's right there. It wants to try to do something. Let's put it that way. So we'll see what that. And I think it wants to roll off and get moving. And it's on that hard line right there in your 20s, right there at 65. And this is at like 61 and a half in the after hours. And it looks good. So I'm just telling you, SXTC is looking decent. LSB, that Lakeshore Biopharma, this one's starting to make that curl up, guys. So keep an eye on it because we caught that first popper, and let's see if we can catch it again because it's going to start to move now. And yeah, it's what a couple days ago. Yesterday was it? Yeah, yesterday I think it ran from like 280 to 380 and now it's sitting at three. It opened at 302, got up to 324. It's at 314, and it is looking better. It's going to jump around, but it's looking pretty solid. So keep an eye on this LSB, another China biotech company. So looking pretty solid. So I'm going to take a look at that one as well. And this one, next one was looking great, I think, yesterday. SNOA. It was setting up. Oh my goodness, yeah. This one is looking super good, guys. So I don't know what I'm typing in, but SNOA. Oh man, it's running again tomorrow. I promise you that. So keep an eye on that one. But it ran up what 10 cents. It opened at 286, got up to 298, it says. Said accurate 296, two up and yeah, it's setting up. Just look for any little pullback as it sets up, and it's going to try to move. It looks like it's moving up tomorrow again, but again, just watch if it pops up and pulls back a little bit. But this thing is set up, and it could blast off tomorrow and get really cruising. And yeah, this thing could really blast off tomorrow. It could wait for next week, but it's right there, guys. And I said it yesterday. It was looking good, and it is looking good. I like it. WB did. I was looking at it today. I was like, it looks pretty nice. And then yeah, it looks good. Warner Brothers, remember I was saying this one was starting to look better. They have their earnings on November 7th, and it looked great today, bouncing off of there. It's still going to start curling up, and I think this one's going to be moving. So I believe that bottom's probably going to be yesterday at that 725, and that's probably going to be our bottom for a bunch of them right now. I'm not going to lie. If you look at yesterday's bottoms, because so many of them pulled back like that, you're probably going to see a lot of them be there, and you can kind of work your prices off of it. So just keep that in mind for the next week or two. And as these things set back up, because you had a lot of good pullback yesterday, and now they look like they're getting ready to roll. And Warner Brothers looks like it's about to. So it's sitting right there. It could pop up to that 776. It's at 750, but it is getting set up to get cruising. And that's WBDLUXH. Lux Urban Hotels. This ran up the other yesterday as well. And again, a couple of these pennies were running up, but Lux LUXH ran up, pulled back today, and it did hit the 20 yesterday. Couldn't get through at 6 cents. Let's see. It's just right there. LUXH. Oh, it's riding that line pretty nice with a little bit of pullback today. I would keep an eye on this, see if it can bounce up tomorrow. If not, I think next week it could get bouncing back. So LUXH, we'll keep an eye on that. And it's I don't think it's coming down into the basement at this point, or that's got a reverse split if it does. So that's the only thing you'd have to look out for the oh, they did. Oh no, that was August 26th. So I don't know, but that's the only thing I'd look out for. This is like a reverse split at some point, but we'll keep an eye on LUXH. Let's look at INKT. Oh, I think I skipped one. Couple of them here. I'll get back to them. INKT real quick was setting up nice. I looked at it today. It was just a little bit flat, but I'm telling you, this one's in a great spot too. So you want to definitely keep your eye on INKT. I think this one's going to have a little bit of a popper. Nothing that crazy, but I think you're going to get a pop off of where it's sitting. So just look at that if you want to see that. MAXN, good old Maxon was up a little bit today. Pulled back yesterday, obviously, with most of them. And now it's just riding that line, trying to curl back up. Let's see, MAXN. Yeah, I mean, it's just running flat. The 20's way up here. So it's at 677. This is at 520. This one may just have to run flat. And I'll keep an eye on Maxon just to see if it's trying to set up or if it's just going to wait for that 20 and we don't really have to look at it because it popped up after the split and that's what we caught. Let's look at ABVE. So above food ingredients, because this one was looking great. And it jumped up, what, 51 to 55 today. Has a little bit of a pullback. It keeps hitting the 20 right there at like 54 and a half. So it keeps hitting it and it's just pushing the envelope and trying to get moving. I don't know if it'll get moving tomorrow, but this one's going to get set up very, very soon. ABVE, and when it does, it's going to get up to that 69 cent area and get cruising. So you can keep an eye on that. ABVE above food ingredients. We looked at that a while back as well, but it is setting up now. ANTX, this was looking good, had a pullback today, but it was in a crazy spot the last few days. And I think it might just be a little healthy pullback. It ran from what? It started at 109 and went down to 107, ANTX. And it looks like it pulled back way more on the chart than it actually did. So let me just take a peek at it. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look bad. Actually, it looks like it wants to go up tomorrow. So, and it's in a great spot. And honestly, it might have ran up higher. It's 108 at 109. It's not moving around a whole lot. The volume's probably not crazy. 97,000 today. So yeah, it hasn't been crazy volume, but this thing wants to get curled up, ANTX. So we'll keep our eye on that one and see if it wants to get moving tomorrow or next week, but it'll get some volume. It should. XTIA, this was looking great to try to get cruising out of the basement. And then yesterday it popped up a little bit and had that like hard red look. And today it just took a big old dip down. And it's probably going to be that dip and rip look. So the 20's up at like 14 cents. This was almost there yesterday. It got up to what, 12 and a half. It wasn't too far away. And now today it pulled back so much that it's not that close. So we'll have to see probably next week as it sets back up and can curl back up, see how much the 20 can drop down and how much this can move back up. But it did look great. And then I don't know what happened to it. So we'll keep an eye on XTIA. And I don't really see anything for news, but I have no idea if something happened. I was just trying to look because it didn't look bad, and then all of a sudden it just kind of fell apart there. So I'll look at that. VEV, isn't that one splitting or doing something? It's pulling back into the basement and running flat down there. The 20's way up, and I'm just have mixed feelings about this thing. So I'm not, oh yeah, they getting delisted. That's what it was. That's right. We're not going to look at this because it was getting delisted. When is that happening? Um, they didn't do we know when it was getting delisted? I forget if we talked about it, but it is getting delisted. Let me write that down. Vev delisted. All right, so we know that's happening with that one, so we don't have to worry. Don't worry about that one. Z car, let's look at that, Zoom car holdings and see because guess what? It was up only $1.85. Well, it split today. No, it didn't split yesterday, right? The 22nd, 2 days ago. So yeah, there you go. The Zoom car, it blew up today. I didn't even notice it. I honestly didn't look at it, so it slipped through my fingertips, but there you go. It ran up pretty nice. ZCAR. I mean, we looked at it last night. I said it was going to get zooming, and it opened at 602 and ran up to 929, guys. So over 30%. There you go. How about that for you? And that was a good call yesterday because it had split and it was ready to get rolling. I mean, you could just kind of see it. So we were looking at that Z car and U car and we knew that that was good. They both were going up, so they both did, but Z car definitely went up. LGMK, where am I going? I'm going back to U car. Oh, yeah, went back to the first beginning of the list. Um, CXAI, CXAI. I just said the word U car, and it just caught my eye on the list, and I just decided to do the one under it, which was LGMK. We probably did that a half hour ago. CXAI, here we go. Kind of pulled back there yesterday with the rest, making it flat. Coming down tomorrow is going to be either to bounce or it's going to have to stay down there and just hang out. So we'll see. It's hitting the line right now. We'll see what it wants to do. I'll keep an eye on that one. CXAI. And let's look at edible EDBL and see what the edible garden is up to. Man, this one, the 20 is like right there. It's at like 22 cents. This thing just, and another one, we just know to look where they cross through and wait for the 20. Well, this one had a ton of weird looks. And unless this thing's gonna like reverse split, which does it look like it? They regained compliance with NASDAQ on October 10th. So is that the day it ran? No, I don't remember. Let me look. No, it didn't even really do anything that day. It ran up the other day. I remember the 22nd. So it ran up this week and it's sitting right there and they have something going on, guys. So edible EDBL is looking good right now. Let me look at it on mine. EDBL. Yeah, I mean, I can't say that it looks too bad. EDBL. I mean, I would have to assume this thing's coming out of the basement and getting cruising off of that 20. Maybe it's not tomorrow and it's next week, but keep your eye on that thing because it's an interesting setup and it looks good to me. MLEC. That's at Mulek Sciences. This one was looking good. Ran up a little bit yesterday, pulled back a little bit today. Let me see. Because it was looking better yesterday, that's for sure. And yeah, I think it's going to roll right off of there. Just kind of some healthy pullback. It's setting up. So keep your eye on this for a roll off right there. LGVN. Let's see. This one just kind of pulled back today. Oh, that one looked great yesterday. This one might wait for the 20 and 50 next week. LGVN and get popping again. So we're going to just wait for that one. And again, another one, I think, next week. So that should be a good one. SVMH. Yep, SVMH. Just pulling back. I mean, it was sitting there perfect yesterday. Holy cow, you couldn't even get more perfect than that. And I probably said it was going to pop today because holy cow, it looked perfect. And it didn't really pop at all. It dipped. And I'm kind of surprised because I mean, you couldn't be any more perfect right there. So I'm not sure what happened with that today. But let's look at it and see what it wants to do. kind of pulled back right there. I'd have to see that tomorrow because, like I said, that one should have got moving, and I'm not sure why it didn't. So we'll look at that tomorrow and see what's happening with SVMH. Maybe that doesn't make it back onto the list, but let's look at BACK and look at back. I said it was going to dip, and it did. It went down 11 cents. I said it was going to pull back probably back to that 119 area and possibly pop back up or trade between that channel. And that's at IMAC Holdings, which is a medical care facility. So it is pulling back, and I think it's just going to bounce and set up there. So we can keep a an eye on that. FRGT, that Freight Technologies, is sitting in the right spot on that 20. And yesterday, it should have got moving yesterday, but it obviously didn't. And let's look. I think it's going to try to roll off. Whether it does it tomorrow or next week gets more set up, we'll have to take a look. But FRGT not looking bad. CCTG, CCTG, that one we already looked at the very beginning. That's at CCSC Technology International. It went flying today. And so we had already looked at it at the very beginning, but here we go. Would it run up? What did I just type in? Definitely not what I was trying to. Here we go. Now I got it. It opened at 210 and ran up to 425 today. So I'm not sure if it's going to run up anymore. It did get into the top, so obviously look at it in the morning for a momentum, but it ran pretty hefty today, and that was CCTG. And let's look at BTCT. That's at BTC Digital. That's setting up in a good spot. We looked at this down here in like the 150s, I guess. I forget where it was, but it's looking pretty healthy right now, guys. So once it gets over basically right where it's at, it should try to get cruising into the top, and it'll probably set back up. It'll probably run up there, set back up, and get a little higher. So keep an eye on this. I have a feeling the chart's going to reset up and make it bullish. And then you're going to see this bad boy start moving, and that's BTCT, and I think they do BT yeah, they're doing mining and all that stuff with crypto. So, crypto is going to be moving, and so will that. We looked at CHRO, CTNT, the cheetah did reverse split today, and then it started to move a little bit. It opened at 276, it got up to 361. We were saying look for the bounce right there. Let's see what it's doing tomorrow. And it just looks like it's kind of pulling back to me. I don't know. Um, we have to look at that in the morning, the cheetah after that. But it did run up a little bit and it hit the 20. It would have to get back up to that 358 tomorrow. So look at it and see if it's just kind of curling up, and we'll go from there. And that's the cheetah CTNT. And let's look at JTAI real quick. And this one was looking way good it was looking better this morning, and then it just kind of fell apart and took a dip. And yesterday, put it this way, the 22nd Tuesday it was before the dip yesterday, it was looking great. And then yesterday it didn't look so bad on the pullbacks, but then today it didn't work out for it. So I guess we're gonna have to wait for JTAI to come down to that bottom probably tomorrow and see if it can get curled back up and get back on that 20, which is at 9 cents, and now this is back at 7. So it definitely didn't help it out any, that's for sure. JTAI, it could roll off, and that's what we're gonna look for because, like I said, it's coming back to the coming back down. It's under the 20, but it's coming back down to the line, MACD, and to the bottom. So we're gonna look for that roll off in the 20 to pick it back up. So that's what I'm looking for JTAI. And we'll have to see that probably next week to try to get set up for us. TOVX, this one was looking great, and it started to move today. It opened at 146, got up to 155. It closed at about 152. I don't think it ran in the after hours. Yeah, just 155. And it looks really good. So keep your eyes on this, TOVX, because that one's looking solid for tomorrow. And UK, And that one we were looking at before, and it did spike up today. It opened at 127, got up to 160. We were saying it was going to move. It did pull back to about 127 in the after hour, so have to look at that probably in the morning UK. But it just kind of flattened out. It doesn't look bad to try to keep its momentum, but and it's setting up down there. Have to look for a little bit of pullback, but another one it could get moving. So it did run up today, and then again it closed at like 134, 127 area. So we'll look at it. USIO. This one was setting up. It was just kind of flat right there, right on the 22. The 20 got right under it at 139, and it was looking really, really good there. USIO. And let's see it. Yeah, I think this one, like I said, just 20 curled under it, a little bit flat, but could easily get me. I only had 1.5, like 1,500, 1,500 in volume. That's why it has that flat look. So have to see if this can get curled up, get that volume in, and then it could move USIO. But it was looking really good. And let's take a quick look at GTBP real quick. GT Biopharma, and this one ran up today. I mean, it's up at the top right there. It ran up from like, let me look at this on mine, GTBP, so I can get the best look. 296 to 354. It's at 297 right now. And I don't know, this one might have to be topped out right there today. So I'm not so sure that one's going up anymore. TPET, that's that Trio Petroleum, and it was just kind of pulling back. Another one set up the other day, and then boom, boom, down, down, and now it has that look like it's about to change directions and bounce off that bottom. So I would keep an eye on TPET to see if it can bounce right there off that 13 cent area. Let me mark that one right there. Let's look at that OCGN. This one I was thinking it was looking better this morning, then it took a dive. Let's see, because someone asked about it, and I looked at it, and it did look a little bit better this morning. It opened up at 91, got up to 92, and then came back down to 89, and then it went up to 91 in the after hours, and they have their earnings coming up November 8th. Our 20s right there at 95. It was sitting right there the other day. It kind of pulled back, obviously, yesterday and then today a little bit. So OCGN, I think, is going to set up for next week. So we'll look at it. Like I said, definitely looked better the other day when I first saw it, when it jumped out at me. And then yesterday kind of just broke it down. So it'll set up right there and get moving. OCGN, we'll keep an eye on that and we'll look and find that when it's ready to get curled up and moving. GRI up a penny, but this one had run up the other day. I remember 21st. I guess it was what Monday that was. And it's trying to get all curl back up actually. So it hasn't dipped. I mean, it definitely dipped hard. It was at 179 and now it's at 82, but it's not like all the way back in the 41 cent range there. So GRI, this was one we were looking at down there. It has potential to try to crawl back up tomorrow and get moving. So keep an eye on that one. GRI, it could easily curl back up tomorrow and cruise back up. TELA, they had all kinds of insider buying today. I don't know what was going on. So let me just take a look at it. It says TELA Bio announces closing of public offering of common stock and pre-funded warrants and full exercise of the underwriter's option to. I have to bring this up now. To purchase additional shares. So obviously they just had a public offering, but I think they had a bunch of insider buying from what people are saying. I don't see it right here, but let me just go on FinViz and look at the insider buying real quick and just see who had a bunch. Give me 2 seconds. IBTA, SY, what were we looking at? TELA. I don't even see it on here. Oh, here it is. We got it on here. There we go. TELA. So they do. I just don't know how much. I don't see it on here, but apparently they did have some big insider buying. multiple people were saying it, and I just don't, like I said, don't see it. But they also had a public offering, so let's look at this bad boy because something's going on. I was looking at it, and it wasn't looking bad. It did run up yesterday from 260 to 305, and it had over 2.5 million. Today, 250 to 266, only had 500,000 in volume. And the 20 looked like it was kind of pulling back just a hair today. But let me just take a look on mine. And yeah, it looks pretty solid to get moving. So I can't say that it doesn't. I think it's going to try to jump up there. They do have earnings coming up on the 7th. That seems like a popular earnings day, November 7th. Seems like a ton of them have it. So this is on that day as well. And yeah, I think that 20 gets curled back up. It's just kind of stair stepping its way up right there. And another one has a ton of room, like 420 to get to. I mean, not much in its way because the 50 is right there at 468. So the next thing it's popping off of is the 50 and the 20 when they meet. So keep an eye on it. It's medical devices, TELA, and it's looking really solid right there. I can say that. And they did have a bunch of insider buying, but I'm not exactly sure what it was. So we'll take a look at that one and find out. And NIO, here we go. That was down 21 cents. That was that China auto manufacturer that we caught, I mean, way down here at the threes, and it ran up to the eights, I think, right? At least the sevens, 771. And we knew it was pulling back. I took it off the list because it was just we knew it was coming back down, but maybe we take another look at it pretty soon because it's coming back down to that bottom and maybe we'll run it back up. So I don't see anything going on with NIO at the moment. And I think we played this one probably textbook as well. So let it just pull back some and we'll catch it later. So that's NIO. I'll hit the rest of laptop travels. Let me go through the messages real quick and see what I missed and you guys want to see. And yeah, that's TELA. Here you go. Check out this chart. Big old gap up there, and it could get crazy. So, and a lot of insider buying from what people were saying. Some of them even posted it. I forget. Um, oh, here's the ASML options. Let's look at that bad boy. Yeah, them things are looking nice, I'm telling you. I forget what it looked like. Oh yeah, that's the one where the company like I said, that one's gonna run from like the 710 to 740 easily. And you can check out the options on here. And I'll go like I said, Saturday I'm planning on doing an option show. Not sure how long it'll last, but I'm just gonna go through, I'll pull up some option chains like that, explain what I see and what I'm looking for and and yeah, and I'll answer anyone's questions that anyone has and just try to and so yeah, I'll probably ask tomorrow. I'll send out a message or tonight. So let me know what questions you particularly have about options that you're confused on and we'll try to walk through it and make it clear for everybody so that, everybody's not confused because like I said, it's very intimidating. It's almost like trading crypto at first. It's intimidating as hell. And then once you do it, you're like, man, this is so easy. Why didn't I jump in this 5, 10 years ago? So it's one of them situations right there. So I will go through it for sure. But yeah, there's an options chain so you can look at it and we will definitely go through something like that. The SSEI, the Shanghai Stock Exchange Index, was rising today. Um, as per laptop travel, a cup and handle job to ATH. Let me look at that one. What were we looking at here? Top Wealth Group. What was that one? I forget what that is. IT something. We have to look at it. Top Wealth Group. Hold on. Top Wealth. Oh yeah, TWG. That was what it was. Oh wow, this thing keeps running up. Remember this thing? We looked at this down in the dollars. It's at like 13.50 now. I had no idea. I wasn't even looking at it. Thank you, but holy cow, that TWG is like off the charts. TWG, yeah. I it still looks like it wants to go higher tomorrow. That's insane. Holy cow, Dale. I hope you got that one. But yeah, TWG way up at the top, and it's run up there. I mean, like I said, we were looking at this thing way down here. It started getting in the top back in September 19th, and it stayed up there until now. Came out briefly on October 9th, but not much. So yeah, that one's a crazy one, Dale, that's for sure. Um Here you go. I'll show you this one. I'll repost yours, Dale. That one, yeah, TWG. Wow. That's no joke right there. And that's I'm just going through the messages real quick. And so here we go. Luis Rodriguez wants to see MSTR. Let's look at that one because that is micro strategy and that's up $21. Wow, this one's running into the top. So it's looking really good to continue to run up there. At least tomorrow anyway. You know it's gonna have to come back down and make some room, but it is looking solid to continue to run. And there's just another thing that shows you the crypto's about to move and the markets are shifting. So, I mean, just figure uh, if Trump wins, he already said he wants to make the US the crypto capital of the world. And he has his own exchange. I mean, what do you think's going to happen with this stuff? And it's right in the middle of a halving bull cycle. This thing's going to go wild. So just keep your eyes on them. I'm telling you, and you can see what's happening already. Um, we'll go over crypto next, actually, because they're rolling. Sol was up, Bitcoin's up, they're all cruising. ARM. Let's look at here you go. We looked at TWG on October 11th, and it was at $7.14, and it closed at 12.28 today. So there you go, right there. Thanks, laptop travel. I knew we looked at it when it was down. I don't remember when, but we look at so many. But ARM Holdings, let's look at this as a semiconductor company. And this one seems to be pulling back, but setting up super bullish. It's hitting that 50 right now. And let's see if that's the end of its dip. It could. It looks like it wants to pull back a little bit more. Um, to be honest, there, Luis Rodriguez. So we'll have to look at it in the morning. Arm. Let me just jot it down real quick. I know a couple people have asked about it, so I guess they do have something going on. But I was just looking to see if they had any news. But it is setting up super bullish, so we'll catch it. Um, and yeah, it's at that 140 and it's going to set up. They'll probably meet like 155 and it'll blast off of that. So let's just watch and get that bottom or see if it tries to crawl up tomorrow at all. And that's ARM for ARM. And like I said, MicroStrategy is looking good. Here we go. I think I got all the other ones right there. Let me know if anybody else wants to see anything or if I missed anything. I did them guys in the very beginning. So I know I got that. So cool. And like I said, XPON, let's check it out. Jennifer Lee. XPON. Oh, that one went up 46 cents today and is looking pretty damn good again. I didn't know that was going to be looking good after the split. Did we look at it? I don't remember if we looked at it again yesterday. I don't remember, but it's looking really healthy right now to get moving. So keep your eye on XPON. It should get up over that Oh, it definitely did. It got up there like 432 in the after hours. The next stop should be in the fives, like the 560. So yeah, XPON looking solid right there tonight. That's obviously we were looking at it. I know it bounced up, it popped the other day, and but it's looking pretty good again. NXL, that one's a runner, and that one's probably going to be a momentum play in the morning up to 278. Check it out. It's at 239 right now, and NXL's in the top, and it looks like it's going to try to keep some momentum in the morning. So that one could be a nice little momentum play for sure and that's NXL and MNPR. That one's up, isn't it? Yeah, 28. This one like flew today. I just saw this actually right before I hopped on. It opened at 5 and ran up to like 38.50. It went nutty today. I'm not even sure what the heck it is. Monopar Therapeutics. I'm not sure what they do, but they must have had something. Announced an agreement with AstraZeneca for some rare disease for late stage Wilson disease drug candidate. So yeah, it like went nuts. I don't know if we were looking at it before, but yeah, you would have had to catch that news. Would I have seen that one? I don't know. I mean, it was set up in a nice spot, but I don't know that you would have known that was popping like that. Let's put it that way. So, if you were in it before, it was really nice. And, but yeah, like I said, I'm not so sure what's it going to do tomorrow. It's hard to tell since it ran up so much like that. But we've seen like Drug and these other ones get up in this top and run up there. So, just watch it in the morning. If it can stay up there, it's going to continue and keep some momentum. So it'll be okay for some quick plays up there. So that's XPON. And again, we'll look at crypto real quick and see what that's up to. Here we go. Let me take a quick look at crypto. I'm going to hop on my app real fast. Oh, hold on. What did I just do? Oh, man. I just ended it. Shit. I just ended the goddamn thing. Oh, how'd I do that? Oh, man. What did I do? Um, Here we go. Oh, damn it. Sorry, everybody. I have no idea what happened. I might have hit the end, but usually it asks you if everything's good and it ends. And so I have no idea what went on, but my apologies that I just cut out. Let me let everybody else hop back on. So sorry for that. I was going to get into crypto. And like I said, I go on my app and I might have hit the end button. I didn't notice. My apologies, but here we go. I'll make sure I don't hit the end button here. And yeah, I saw it immediately because I it'll have the orange thing at the top, and I'm like, wait a second, where'd that thing go? I went to click back in, and it was gone. So here we go. I'll get back into the crypto, and then we only have the big caps and a few others to laptop, the rest of the laptop travels list, and we'll be pretty good. And I'll just do a quick review of everything. So my apologies that it cut out, and here we go. We'll get back into this. So let me hop into my app without shutting this off. Here we are. All right, here we go. So Bitcoin is at 67,900. It's about to hit 68,000. Say it's there. It's been in the 68s. It got up to 68,812, and it is going to roll off of there and just get booming, guys. So crypto, it was just at 68. Solana's back to 176, and it's pushing up. And what it get up to? 179. So it's trying to get back to that 180. Remember, I was saying that before, and it should blast through that as well. But it's getting way up there. It may have to have a little bit of pullback, but it'll be fine. Ethereum's at 2,500, and it's back to the 50 curled down. So I think Ethereum has to get set back up and get moving. It's weird because they're not all on the same pace right now. Like Cardano is kind of down as well, like Ethereum. Them two are on the same page. And let's see, Doge is down though. It's not down. It's just under 14 cents is what I meant to say. And It is kind of at the top pulling back, but I have a feeling this is just going to get set up and roll back off and go higher. And let's look at Bonk real quick. BONK. And it is up 2.5% at the moment. And it's again just staying on top of that 100, and it's bouncing the RSI. It curled down, but it's gonna curl right back up and get cruising. So they're looking really good at the moment. So that is our crypto report. And again, my apologies for cutting out there. And here we go. Let's look at our big caps, and then we'll hit our laptop travels. We already did a few of them, and we'll hit the rest of that list. So here we go. Crypto looking good. And let's look at GameStop and AMC and them bad boys, because GameStop was up a little bit today. And I think it's starting to make that base right there and starting to make the curl up and trying to get moving. So it's still pulled back just a hair, nothing crazy. So start looking at it, because I think, like I said, it's going to start to get curled up. And maybe right around the election time, these things are going to get blasting off, these meme stocks or something, because AMC was up 12 cents and looking really good. It should get moving. The 20's right there for it. And like I said, AMC looks probably the most bullish out of them all. And it does. It wants to move. So take a look at AMC. It looks like it wants to get moving. And Chewy, CHWI, that one was down and it is still pulling back. I think it's about to hit that bottom, and this thing's going to set up and explode. So you catch this thing off the bottom and it should get moving real quick too, because it can go from like this 27, 26 area if it comes down there right back into the 30s with no problem. So that'll be a good move. So we'll be keeping an eye on that when it wants to go. And Nvidia was up 85 cents today. And again, I don't know. They kind of look like they want to pull back just a little bit. It wouldn't be a bad thing if they do tomorrow on a Friday. So we'll look at Nvidia. A couple of them are looking better. Apple's looking pretty damn good, even though it was down 19 cents. It's sitting right there, just getting super bullish. And it is. It's sitting on that line. I think it tries to crawl off, because there's no way it's coming through that line tomorrow to get reset up next week. I can't imagine. I guess I won't say no way, but I just don't see it on there. So maybe I'm completely out of my mind and wrong, but I just see it coming up and setting up tomorrow and next week getting wild Apple. I don't know what's happening, but something looks good. And Google, GOG, here we go. And that one is just kind of underneath. I think this one has to pull back, to be honest. So not a whole lot. Maybe only comes back down to the 161 area. It's at 164. So like I said, only a couple dollars. But I think it's just going to pull back and make that room to get rolling again. And Amazon, I think, is getting set up. It's up $1.67 today. And I was telling my buddy Josh, I said, yo, Amazon's getting ready to get rolling soon. So keep your eye on that, because it's getting bullish. And you already know the holiday season's right around the corner, and who does better than anybody than on that time than Amazon. And you know what else was looking good? WMT, Walmart. I think we did it last night, but this is setting up to get blast off too. So that's at like $83. It was down 23 cents, but it is setting up right there. It looks pretty bullish. Look for it to come down into the 80s. And yeah, Walmart's looking good, WMT. So again, another one, retailers, and it's going to be that holiday season. So you can almost expect them to be popping. Meta jumped up today, 409, and I think it's just kind of stair stepping its way back down. I think it does come back down to the 550. It's at 567. Remember, it was at 600, and I said it needed to drop back down. I think it does have to come back down to this 550 area, and then it gets set back up to run. So we'll keep an eye on it and see if it does want to bounce tomorrow. But it appears it's stair stepping down. And Tesla, I mean, what else do we have to say about Tesla? Who said it was going to go from where it was down here at what, two something? Well, 212 was its bottom yesterday, and remember, I was saying all week it's going to go 240 to 260 really fast. I mean, it went to 260 like that. It went up $46 today. So Tesla did exactly what I thought it was going to do on its earnings, and it got booming. It might pull back tomorrow though, so I uh I cashed in my lottery ticket today and I wish I had about 20 of them because that thing was insane. And that was Tesla and like I said when we see these bad boys, I did miss Microsoft. I didn't even write it down, huh? Thank you, Laptop Travel. You're on point. I did miss Microsoft. You're 100% right. Let me jot it down so I don't miss it tomorrow because sometimes I just copy the list and I must have just missed it for some reason. And that's why there was an extra space at the bottom. I was wondering, I was like, oh, I have an extra line down there today. And that's probably why. So let me go back and do that one. But yeah, Tesla might pull back and then let it set up and we'll do this again because that was insane. And yeah, we'll like I said, definitely going to be doing options. It's wild. So Tesla was amazing and wish I had a whole bunch of them. But let's look at Microsoft. That one was amazing the other day too. I mean, that one went up over $10, and that was like 300% or something. So yeah, these things are amazing. I'm telling you, especially the way we're looking at them, we're just nailing them down. But Microsoft appears that it's trying to curl back up. So it did pop up yesterday, hit that resistance, and came back down with everything. And yeah, I mean, it could just stay flat tomorrow on that Friday, but it is setting up for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the road. And it'll bounce around in this channel like 429 to 416. So you want to find it down here closer to the 416, 420 area and ride it back up to that 428 area and get your $10 pop because trust me, they're worth it right there. It's pretty damn good. And it definitely pays well. And yeah, you just pick them right as they're about to pop up and don't pick the expiration that far out. Make sure you're safe. And and yeah, the thing will just pay out pretty damn hefty. So, I mean, Tesla, if you picked that yesterday and had it close the option closing the expiration really soon, holy cow, that the first expiration that you could pick, I forget what the date even was, to be honest with you. Was it tomorrow? I don't remember. But it was insane. So that thing was nuts. So there you go. And I didn't know it was going to get 260 today, but I thought it was going to be popping and moving. And yeah, it went right 240, 260 like it was nothing. So that was incredible. So there's Microsoft. Like I said, just see pull it back a little bit. We'll catch them at the and like I said, you catch these things at that perfect bottom price, and as they're bouncing up, holy cow, it's amazing. I mean, because the expiration and you time the expirations right, the percentages are just astronomical. And that's what I was talking to my buddy Josh about. And he was saying, he's like, dude, I've never seen anybody hitting these things like that. So here you go. Here's the Tesla options right here. You can see the percentages. I'll post it out. But yeah, they were like over 1,800%, 2,000%. I mean, it was insane. So here you go. You can take a look at it, guys. Laptop Travel just posted it up, and here's the repost. But yeah, so yesterday, right? Let's go over it real fast. We'll go to Tesla because it's fresh. So yesterday we knew the bottom was what 212. So just say you bought it at like 215, right? And you were like, hey, and this one doesn't even have because it's already so high up, so it's not showing us. But say yesterday when it was at 215, you were like, hey, I want to hit 220 or 230 and but this is already way up because it's showing right nows and but yeah, so like 237.50 was the first one for here, so obviously screenshotted it earlier when it was down around that price. And but yeah, so you can just see, so say you were down at that price and it ran up over 1,500%. Imagine, like I said, like you were down super low in the 212s and you were picking and I realized today if you pick it closer to the expiration or the price that you're going to strike it at, you'll make more because you can buy it cheaper. So And that's the difference with that. You can actually leverage more. If you get the price lower and closer, it might be a more expensive, a little more option, but it's still, I mean, look at these things. They're printing over 2000%. And again, this is a little bit higher up than yesterday, so they were pretty insane. Let me just tell you, I was like, holy shit, that's wild stuff right there. So, there you go with Tesla options. And again, I'll definitely get into the options a little bit more. And we'll, like I said, I plan on trying to do a show on Saturday, but just give you a little idea of the difference. And then now here we'll break it down real quick. So you look at that percentage. Now each option you have 100 shares. So that's kind of why them percentages get crazy. And again, the percentages get a little higher as the expiration's near and you're in the money and all that good stuff. But um, but if you had just bought stocks of it and say you bought it at 215 and it goes up into 260, I mean, just think about what you're making per share. You're not making that 2,000, 3,000%. And then you're buying shares at $260. The options weren't that much. I don't remember what the heck it even was, but yeah, well, maybe it was. I forget, but honestly, it didn't matter because it printed money like no other stock. You're not buying stocks and making money like you are on option. It's leverage. That's what it comes down to. And and honestly, you make more. And now I understand why everybody jumps from stocks to options to futures because that's basically the what you get into. And the futures pay even more because the you don't have to put up as much money. The leverage is better on them, so that's why people end up jumping into futures as well. And I was talking to my buddy about that, and I said that'll be the next step, but let's crush these options for like a couple months and just destroy it, and then we'll start trading futures as well. Because you just give me a chart, and I can tell you what it'll do. I mean, they're the same charts; it doesn't really matter. So we can honestly do that as well. And so there you go. I'll just post what Laptop Travel said. Like 10 cent each before earnings of Tesla options for a 2,850% payout. So like I'm saying, you're not getting stocks to get the payouts that you're getting for these options. And I know people have been telling me forever, and I messed around with them for a little bit, just didn't completely understand it. And the last year, I wasn't exactly that coherent either, with a brain injury, getting smacked in the head. And I'm not saying I'm 100% now, but again, I'm just like, hey, let's. What do I have to lose? What the hell? Let's do this. I've always wanted to learn them, and we're learning them, baby. That's how I do it. And yeah, I'm telling you, this thing's crazy. If you've seen, like I said, I was like, holy shit, I wish I bought like 20 of these yesterday because I would have been like, whoa, that would have been nuts. But anyway, great day with Tesla, and there'll be plenty more to come. I promise you. I mean, we pick apart the charts easy, and now like I was telling Josh, now I kind of get it a lot better. And so now I know exactly what we're looking at and what we're looking for and expiration wise. So it was a little experimenting for me for a couple weeks here and just figuring it out. Just like when I, started to see the patterns differently, I said, give me a week. And like I'm telling you guys, we're going to become the greatest trading group ever. I'm not even kidding. We're going to trade as well as we read charts. And I'm telling you right now, we do it all for free and we just have fun with it. And everybody will be locking in crazy profits. So let's get cruising through the rest. I did the Microsoft. Let's look at Nike. And yeah, I just have a completely different view on it and approach, obviously, just knowing this knowledge and yeah, we're gonna destroy it. I'm telling you, it's just not even a question. Especially as you see it starting to set up. And I was saying it 3 months ago, so it's not like I'm just saying this out of the blue today. I think you guys know I've been saying the same thing for months, and it's doing exactly like we've been saying. So if it sets up and these charts start running normal, and it's just like, and I'm telling you, I've gotten a little more keen on them from doing the show every day. So we're clearly not going to stop doing the show. As I've told everybody, it's the greatest. I don't know if I could ever stop at this point because it's just such a good therapy session for my brain injury. Especially in the morning, like I can tell on the weekends when I don't do it, I'm just like, huh, what's going on? And so and then doing it at night, right at the end of the night, it's kind of like really good. So I don't know if I could really stop at this point. And like I was telling the therapist, I'm like, even if no one even joins, like signs on and wants to listen, I think I kind of just have to do it just to keep my brain. It's working. And I'm telling you, I'm just seeing this market so much better. And and then the patience plays in the effect, and we're just crushing it. I mean, we're just doing it on every angle and doing it smart, and that's what we want to do. So especially the new people that are just kind of getting into this. I'm telling you, I've been doing it over 20 years, and I promise you, I followed enough people. I see what goes on. I wish I had seen somebody doing this for me back in the day and just walking you through it like this. So I'm telling you, like people that aren't paying attention or listening, they're losing literally years of experience. I mean, you'll just waste your time doing stupid stuff. Whereas you can just listen, and I told you every mistake that you can make and how not to make it, and what to do to just crush the market. I mean, you're just like literally eliminating so much time. And trust me, I've spent a lot of time in years. And I say, live a very blessed life, done very well. But now it's time to just take it to that whole other level. And I'm definitely ready, and I see it happening. So I want to take everybody and help you out because it's fun I enjoy it. I love it. I actually enjoy talking to you guys all day, sending me messages. You guys know, you send me a message, I respond. I talk to everybody, and I enjoy the conversations. I mean, I even have my own strain coming out thanks to OV Grows, and some great stuff going on. So, like I said, the show's just evolving and it's getting better, and we're not stopping it, and we're just going to be crushing it together. So. I look forward to it. And I said it back in the summer. I'm telling you, we're going to have a fun holiday together. I said Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. It'll be great. And look at it. It's getting good. I mean, today was a good day. It's been getting good, and now it's going to get better. I'm going to explain the options so people understand it and can start actually, I I'll tell you is just how to experiment with it so you get it too. That's the other thing I want to kind of walk through because I did it. And so that you understand exactly how it works without killing yourself. And yeah, we'll go through all that on Saturday. I plan on doing a pretty cool show and at some point on Saturday. Not exactly sure when. I'll figure out my schedule. I don't think I have anything to go to at nighttime, so I think I'm pretty clear. So I will be posting that and we'll walk through all that stuff because I think it'll be very beneficial, especially if people are trading stocks traditionally like I always had. I've done it my entire life, and like I said, I've done well, but it's definitely not the easiest way to do it, and it's not the most profitable way. So we'll do it the best way. That's what we're all about here. And trust me, I've learned and I learn every day something new. I try to anyway, and you're never not going to learn something new doing this. So, if you think you know it all, you just step back into reality because this market changes so fast all the time. As you can see, look how much these lists change all the time and patterns. Look how long it took me. I figured out that pattern. It jumped out at me finally. It probably ran like this for 4 years. Um, and just never noticed until, like I said, we were going to pick it up and it would stop. But here, let's roll through the rest of these bad boys so you guys can call it a night. Rivian, this one's setting up as well. Remember, we were saying it the other day, the last few days, it finally hit the bottom. It was up 27 cents today, and it's going to jump up on that 20 at 10.49 and just roll its way up. Their earnings were probably going to be good, and they have November 7th. I got to look at November 7th's earnings. They got to have like 100 companies having earnings. It's insane. Almost every other company we click on, it's like November 7th, they have earnings coming up. So Rivian looking good right there. PLTR, this one's just a machine up there. So it looks like it wants to get back in the top, and I'm not even sure how. It's curled down the MACD, but going up. So I have no idea. Crazy look, but that one's been crazy. So I'm not sure what to even say. And Sophie's been going nutty and has been way up there. I'd have to assume this is topped out and it just keeps running higher. So 71 million, almost 72 million today on Sophie. I mean, if they keep catching volume like that, they can keep moving, which is impressive. But again, they have to come down, and you don't want to get caught at that top when they start dipping because it'll be a miserable, miserable dip, and you'll be stuck in it for a while. So you don't want to be playing with it. You'd rather catch the safer ones like how Tesla was today and ride them up when you know they're at the bottom and going to the top rather than that top and playing with fire. That's why I say they're momentum plays, and they're great for if you catch the way up, but you got to get in and out of them quick just in case they start pulling back on you. So that is Sophie. BA Boeing's down $1.86. This thing should just like crash like their equipment's been, but somehow it's sitting on the 20 and wants to just trade between this 160 and 155. So we'll see what Boeing's up to. But yeah, what a crazy company that is. Snowflake finally moved up, and I think it's still pulling back. I don't know. It's probably going to base out here and get ready for next week to try to set up. So we'll keep an eye on that. We knew when it was running the last time, and it ran up pretty good. And Dell had pulled back. I think Dell's going to start curling back up. It was pulling back right there. I think yesterday was its bottom at what 117. It's back to 120 right now. And Dell is going to set up as soon as it gets back up here on that 124, it's blasting off. So you keep an eye on Dell. AMD, Advanced Micro, this one's kind of pulling back, but setting up to get really bullish. So keep an eye on AMD. It's just about getting ready right there. We're going to keep an eye on that one. That'll be a good one for options because it's at 153 and it can get right up to that 168 area. So this one could get moving. We'll keep an eye on it. Space SPCEs at 715 again. And honestly, this thing looks like it wants to try to move again. So I'll look at it tomorrow and see if it's ready to get set back up. And I crushed the options on that last Friday. I told you the story. I didn't know they were even expiring, and they just started lighting up my phone and selling off. And I think I had like either 10 or 20 of them. I don't really remember, but yeah, that was pretty cool. And it was way in the money too. It was way up there, so that was great. Um, so yeah, I'm definitely understanding them bad boys. And like I said, I know if they expire and you're in the money, the clear your platform's going to sell it for you. So you're not going to get stuck. And then if it expires and you're not in the money, it'll just kind of let it expire and you lose the money whatever you put in. So if it was a $50 option, you lose your $50. So not the end of the world. And again, I think like some of the big cap ones, I mean, they're a couple $100, some of them. It depends what you're buying. But really, when you look at the price of a share, when they're like $200-300 a share and you're buying the option, and you're getting 100 shares at 300 or $400. It's like, how do you even do that? Now I got 100 shares for less than what I would have bought two stocks for. And then it starts running and the percentages go up way more than what a stock can go up. So you can just kind of see what I'm saying. You have 100 plus extra leverage as opposed to two shares going up $3 or $10, even 40. I mean, Tesla, you had two shares today, you made like $80, right? You had a contract, you made way more than that. I promise you. It was up like astronomical. So it was a big, big difference. Trust me, I looked at it and went, this is not even like in the same galaxy anymore. Like we're just going to get rid of stocks and just focus on options because we're not even in the same planet. And that's how crazy it was. So just listen to what I'm saying. INTC, let's see. This one's going to just kind of it's going to set up. It's Intel, it's getting ready. It's trying to crawl up. It's not exactly ready yet. We'll look at it next week. It'll get better. Um, Disney, this one's going to be a good one. Just let it pull back a little bit more. I was looking at it today. It was hitting the line. We'll see if it wants to cross through and come back down to like the 93. It's at 95, but this one will be good and start to run. So Disney, and it'll get down in the 90s and it'll run over 100. So we'll catch Disney on that one. SMCI, Super Micro. I think this one's going to start rolling. It's going to start curling up. I think that's one that you want to keep an eye on right there. So look at them options. There you go, laptop travel. Look at the options on SMCI because I'll be checking them ones out for sure. It's looking good right now. It's right there. It's ready. Oxy, OXY. This was up 3 cents. It wasn't really doing anything today. I looked at it, it was up 51.33 to 51.68, 51.20. It really didn't even move. But just kind of set up and probably hitting that bottom down there could get set up for next week. Exxon Mobil, XOM, was down 68 cents. It was just pulling back to, I think these get set up in a week or two. Um, Maybe we'll see exactly when, but they're coming back down to get set up. So they were up there, now they're back coming back down. Mara was up 15 cents. It's at 18.22. It's building a nice base in this 18s and it wants to get rolling again. So it looks like Mara wants to go, and Riot was looking great too. It's well over 10. We looked at it way down here and said it was going up. I'm surprised it's still running in the top, but it is running. And here's our SM. Oh, don't cancel. Did I just no? I was like, did I just end the show again? Here's our laptop travel just gave us our SMCI options. Thank you. Let's look at it real quick because let me pull it up so I can see what the price was. It was 40 something. I know that. SMCI 46.23. So here's your options, guys. Um, it's at 46.23, so you're obviously in the green already if you're in 42, 43, but this is where you want to get C. You want to see the 47, 48, 49. So we're at 46 and we're confident it's going over 50, I think, right there. I think we're blasting through $50. And so right there, I would be like, all right, I know it's going through 50. So usually I would just say, hey, pick 48 or 49 because I already know it's definitely going through it. It's a piece of cake, but you can get a cheaper one if you get closer to the strike price. And yeah, so maybe I would pick the $50 one right there. And so yeah, you pick that one and you see, and what I always do, because I have no idea how much these things actually cost, so I pick one at the $50 strike price and I put it in and I put the expiration date. You find that one because that's what you look for. You have to look for the expiration dates. And like I said, we'll go through all this and then you pick that one and then I just hit the market and the preview just to see how much the option costs because I have no idea. And I you can figure it out, but it's way faster to do it that way. And then you see how much the option costs, and then you look at it all and figure it out, and you're like, you know what, this looks like it's solid. And then you go from there and you figure out where you know it's going to hit that price at and pick that expiration kind of close, but you want to leave yourself a little bit of time just in case shit happens. And obviously you make more money as you get closer to the expiration, but I'm perfectly fine seeing these percentages if I'm a week out and I pick it out a week further just to play it safer than sorry and know that you're gonna hit it and not have to hit like a 10 million trillion home run every single time and play it a little bit safer. And this is what I was saying to my buddy Josh, and he was like, honestly, it's a great way to look at it. He's like, but if you're that confident, you want to just try to pick it as close as you can. But if you just want to play it, and I'm like, look, just playing around with these things, learning them. I like this method so far. Obviously, you tweak it as you go and make it better. But this method right here has been definitely working. I've done it with some of the smaller option ones, some of the bigger ones. Did it with the SYRS, which was down not that much. Did it with ones that were like space wasn't that much. Did it with $50 ones. Did it with the big caps, the Mag sevens, and yeah, it's not even comparable. I'm telling you right now, it's not even comparable. The only thing with them are you really can't do the options on penny stocks and like some of the lower caps. They just don't offer it. And I'll show you how when you pull up the option chain, you put in the stock symbol, the symbol of it, and it tells you if they do options or not. So. I'll go through it all Saturday, but that was just a little tiny preview with SMCI. And like I said, you pick like that $48 area, just knowing it's going right over it. Um, and yeah, you just watch that thing. It's in the money and it just starts printing. Like you're just like, these percentages are absolutely ridiculous. Like it's not like a stock. Not even close. So that's the difference, and I get why people have been telling me for years you want to trade options. And honestly, I looked into it a couple years ago, just didn't understand it, didn't have anyone explain it to me, and just stuck with stocks. And then, like I said, like I told you, the last year of my life was a little bit crazy, but yeah, you know my story, and I kind of learned them right before I got hit in the head. I was all about getting into it, and then clearly my brain wasn't 100% right. And now I just said, you know what? I'm looking at these things right, and I'm ready to start really trading hardcore, getting back into it, the mindset. And what do we have to lose? Let's learn how to do options now. That's how I've learned everything in life. Let's do it. And so here we go. And I'm telling you guys, we are going to crush this market with them things because they are just amazing. I was telling my wife, I was like, you have no idea. This is wild. So, yeah, pretty fun stuff, I will say. And again, you can do it a lot safer and cheaper, I think, than stocks. I mean, you're not putting out as much money as you would have to with buying shares and stocks. And then, yeah, I just feel like the risk is even better because it gives you that expiration, so it tells you when you should be selling it. And and once you hit your prices and you know you're good and in the green and you made your money, you have an expiration. So just lock in your profits and sell it, and it makes it way easier. So there you go with that, and that's SMCI, and that's just a quick look. CLSK, roll through the rest of these bad boys. I forgot we're gonna do some laptop travels real quick. CLSK looks like it's about to rip, guys. So I think that's about to crawl back up and get cruising up until like past the 14s, probably into the high 14s is what it looks like. So keep an eye on that one because that's looking real good. Coinbase was up today, $10. I know I saw that. It looks like it wants to roll up. So keep an eye on Coinbase. And that CONL is obviously going to be going up. I told you it's super bullish at 40 and it's at 32. So that one's about to go up some more. So you know crypto's looking good. DJT, it was up and down today. What did it run up to like 36? And then it came back down to 33. Yeah, 33. And it just has a couple weird looks in the top. I think it might stay at that top for a little while. I'm not exactly sure, but if it pulls back, it's going to come back down to like the 25, $30 area, 30, like in between there probably, and then get set up to get cruising again. So that's your DJT. And I said it when it was at $13. It was going to be exactly doing this. And boom, there you go with that call. And fun's been totally fun, but it pulled back today. And I did say it's been at the top. I was surprised it ran up yesterday. And I remember I said that looks like a top candle. Be careful. And bam, that came down hard and it's out of the top already. So that is your fun and PayPal. PYPL, I'm telling you, up 56 cents. This thing wants to cruise and possibly tomorrow or definitely next week. So keep your eye on PayPal because that's looking good. Um, QCOM Qualcomm. This was what? Was it up? Yeah, it was up $1.50 and setting up. I'm telling you, this thing's setting up. It has that pullback look, so we'll wait until next week. But this one's going to be a really good one too, because it's going to run up when it's ready. And I'm definitely going to have that option when it's ready to do that. Val Resorts at Mountain MTN just pulling back a little bit, and it is setting up to be super bullish. So I'm waiting for this one to get ready to reverse too, because this one's going to make up some space from 160s up to like 180s. So you're going to want that one too. MTN. So we'll get that. And that's what I'm just scanning the market now in a different view. Obviously, we're looking for all the 100% poppers and all them bad boys. I'm looking at our best, um, probabilities and risk factors and what can actually make the most amount of money in options now. So I kind of have a little bit of a different view on things, I think, after the last few weeks. But obviously we're going to be still picking apart the entire market, doing scanners. I'm just kind of looking at something else now as well that I used to not really look for. And honestly, it's really which option is going to be the most profitable for them days, and we're going to kill them. So that's what I'm kind of looking at, and that's the avenue that I'm looking at. And again, we'll look at all the 100%ers. We'll break down all the charts and everything. I know everyone loves all that stuff, and I do too. I love them, but I just see how these options are just a beauty. So we will totally do it all, continue it all. But McDonald's, this one's going to go back up. It wasn't their quarter pounders. I believe they found out it was the onions. So everybody's now removing onions from their menus, including Burger King and Taco Bell and Wendy's and Pizza Hut and you name it, any other company, fast food, they're all taking out the onions, and it's apparently from a California-based produce company, is what that E. coli outbreak is. So maybe not McDonald's meat after all. So if it's not, the thing's gonna end up popping right back up, and people will be eating there because it's McDonald's, and it's not the meat that's bad. It's just onions, and what's McDonald's really do when your onions get shipped in and they have E. coli? Does any company ever know that for real? So I mean that's an unfortunate outbreak, but I don't know if you can really pinpoint McDonald's if it's their meat. Clearly, it's their meat factories, and you got to look into that. It still could come from someone else, but your onions come in, it's kind of hard to know that you're going to have E. coli. It happens in supermarkets and other places as well. So I'm saying it'll probably bounce back off of that, is what I'm trying to say. So it did dip pretty damn hard too yesterday. Came down to what, like 290, and this thing was at what 300 the day before. 315 was its high and came down to 290. It's at 301, and it looks like it's trying to bounce back up. I don't know if it's going to get a full bounce tomorrow, but it looks like it's trying to work its way back up after that dip. And again, if it was the meat, I don't think that it would be rebounding like this, be considering it's the onions and every other fast food company now has to take them off the menu. I think McDonald's is going to be pretty safe to bounce back. And so that's your MCD report right there for McDonald's. And let's look at Ford. Ford is up 18 cents. I was saying, I was looking at this and the options on it, and it's moving up, guys. So it should try to get cruising. It looks like it's doing pretty well right there, and it looks like it wants to run. So Ford was another one, and again, that was like $11, little less than that. I think it was when I was looking at it was in the tens or something, high tens, right around 11. It's at 11.24 right now. So yeah, I was just kind of feeling them all out, buying different priced ones, seeing which ones do the best, the most percentages. But I kind of figured out that just nailing them the closest to the expiration date is the best thing. And some of these lower ones, like Ford, the options are super cheap. I mean, they could be like I said, you're getting 100 shares. You could get this thing for like $15, $20 for an option, $30. It all depends on expirations and things of that nature, but they can be super cheap. And again, you're getting 100 shares, so you can buy multiple options. Like I said, I don't remember. I either had 10 or 20 options on Space last week. I'll say 10. Say 10. I had 10 options on Space, and yeah, so they were super cheap, and I was just like, "Oh, I'll buy 10 of them and see what happens." And like I said, I forgot that they expired. I thought they expired tomorrow, and they just set off yet last Friday, went nuts and sold and made a really nice profit. And I was like, "All right, so this is cool." And then this week, I kind of zeroed in a little better, and now I'm starting to really get it. So now I'm just trying to figure out what makes the most profit, and that's what we're zeroing in on right now, and I'm kind of understanding that, and that's what I'm looking at, and that's why I said I'm kind of looking at different things at this moment just to see what we're going to make the most amount of money on per day, trading an option that day or within the day or two. So we'll be looking at different things and crushing the market. But there you go. Let me hit through some of these laptop travels, and I'll go through the list or the messages. ADN. Let's look at this bad boy. Some of these are really set up. I was looking at them earlier, and this one was looking like it was ready to blast off ADN. So keep your eye on that. And I'm telling you, most of these real quick. We can go through them pretty fast because they're all pretty solid right here. BFRI was sitting in the right spot, just a little flat right there, but it was looking pretty good. Laptop Travel said U.S. Foods, a major wholesale. Oh, that was U.S. Foods. Said Thursday that Tower Farms had issued a recall this week for peeled, whole, and diced yellow onions for potential E. coli contamination. The recalled onions came from a Tower Farms facility in Colorado. So there you go. And yeah, US Foods is huge. So they're one of the main ones, the food distributors. And yeah, it's tough when like produce. Meat is a little bit different, I'll say. But produce is a tough one. I mean, you got your farmers and people touch it and different things that can happen. Meat's pretty, it's staying cold and there's different I understand that industry pretty well, so I get it. And that's why I'm saying it's hard when it's a produce. It's different when it's meat. If it was meat, the stock would have continued to drop, but since it was a produce and onions, it's gonna kind of bounce back. And I know McDonald, they were shitting their pants when they thought it was that meat yesterday. The CEO came out and like made a statement and was trying to reassure people that McDonald's was safe because they were in panic mode. And I don't blame them. If it was the meat, I'm telling you, the thing would have just kept dropping. So here we go. Let's roll through. BFRI looking good. I'm telling you, just solid right there. It was a little bit flat today, but still solid. Remember this COOT, the Australian um, oil seeds, it ran up and still looking solid. Wants to continue to run up. It ran up the other day and it's looking pretty good again. COOT, CTOR, Citius Oncology. This one's way down and trying to get set up right now. It's not looking bad. I think next week it might be looking really healthy. And that's CTOR, CYTH. That was up 2 cents today, sitting on your 20, curling up every which way. Had only 10,000 in volume, but I'll tell you what, it's looking good. If it can get some volume on there, the 20 and 50 are meeting, it'll get popping there. So CYTH looking good. DGLY, this one was popping the other day, last week. And let's see, it's trying to whoa, this one might go back up higher, and it ran up pretty good to like $1.17. This one could get moving again. So take a look at DGLY. It's looking healthy too. Um, gift, RDE Inc. I don't even know this. Let's see. That just popped up in the right spot. This one's going from like 164 to the 260s, probably. That one looks great right there. So take a look at GIFT. That could be a gift right there. Hoth, HOTH. This one is just kind of setting up, pulling back just a little bit. See when it hits that line and see what happens. I remember looking at that earlier. IBO is up 15 cents. We were looking at this yesterday. It's that kind of newer one. And like I said, it's right on that 50. So look if it's trying to get up there. Um, Again, it's hard for me with these newer ones, so I'll just tell you, look for that momentum play in the morning on IBO, IVDA. Let's look at that bad boy. It's kind of right there. I'd say probably next week it'll probably be perfect. IVDA, it's right there. KAPA, it just might not move tomorrow on a Friday. This one's a new one too, KAPA, but it's bouncing out of that bottom and looking pretty healthy. And when it opened at like $4 and it's $1.50 or $1.35 now, somewhere in that range. And it's looking pretty good. I'll keep an eye on KAPA and see what it wants to do in the morning. LEDS, good old LEDs. This one was curling up too. I was looking at this earlier. It looks good. The 50 is at 128 and it's at 125. It gets through that 128, it's running. So it probably will next week. LEDS, LGCL, Lucas GC. we were looking at this and I said Lucas was going to get moving, and Lucas looks good to roll off and cruise. And his 50 is at 130 and it's at 117. So you can get some movement out of that. MIRA, Mira Pharmaceuticals, was up 6 cents, and this one looks really good too. I think this one's popping up tomorrow some more. MIRA. And like I said, this entire list, I already looked at almost all of them. They were looking great. Money Hero, MNY. I thought the name was pretty cool. And it is trying to curl up right there. This one could be a next weeker and it gets over that 114. It's at 109. That one's going to get cruising. So that's Money Hero. We'll look at that next week. My size is MYSZ, and this was up 4 cents. I know we were looking at it the other day. It was giving me a hard look. It did run up. Was it this week? Yeah, Monday it ran up, and now it's sitting on the 20, and it looks like it wants to curl up again and try to run back up. So we'll keep an eye on MYSZ. My size NCPL is Net Capital, and this one had run up really nice for us. And it looks like it's trying to get back onto that 20 and hook back up to the 50, which is at 227, and this is at 160. So it is setting up again. NCPL, I might have to pop that back on the list and keep an eye on it because it is looking pretty solid again to try to get moving. NCPL and is that TIP? Yeah, NTIP Network One. This one it was getting up there today. It hit the 20. I have to see. It looks like it wants to continue. It could just pull back a little bit, but let me see it. NTIP in the after hours. Nah, that one's going up tomorrow too. You're still solid. When I looked at it earlier, it looked like it was hitting the 20 and getting a little, resistance, but after hours, it looks really solid now. So NTIP looking good. And NVNI, let's see, 5 cents. Oh, this one's curling up beautifully right here. NVNI, 73 and a half. And this one looks really good right here. NVNI. Yeah, take a look at this one. NVNI Group looks great. It's from Brazil. It's just sitting right in the right spot and curling up. It's at 73 and it wants to get up to $1. So keep an eye on that one. OCEA. I don't think I look at this one, I'm not sure, but it's pulling back a little bit between the 20 and 50. I'll look at this. I bet this one wants to roll off next week. So OCEA, PNBK, Patriot National Bank Corp. And that one was run up the other day. I don't think I looked at this at all. This ran up on Tuesday to $3. It's just kind of pulling back. It's sitting on the 20 right there and setting up bullish. I'll have to look at this tomorrow. It's an interesting one for sure. And it could be for next week as well. So QLGN. Collagen Therapeutics. I know we've looked at this before. It took a huge dip today. Um, it was set up beautifully the other day. On Monday, it was beautiful, and today something happened. I don't even know, but it took a nice dip down from 19 to 7. So I'm not sure exactly what happened with that bad boy, but I'll follow it and let's look and see if it wants to take a bounce. That'll be cool. I don't know. I don't know if it has that bounce look. We'll look at it in the morning. You'll know if it's moving in the morning, if it's bouncing back up. It doesn't really give me the look that it wants to, but I'm not saying it can't. It could, but it's just not giving me like that solid, when I'm like, look at this bad boy because it's bouncing in the morning. It's not giving me that look, but I'm not saying it can't. So just take a quick look at it in the morning and you'll know because if it bounces it'll be a nice bounce for sure, especially at that 10. It's coming back up to 15 if it can bounce, so that'll be a real nice bounce, excuse me. And QLGN, that was that. And let's look at re whatever it's called, REVB, Revelation Bioscience. I was trying to think of the name of it. Revelation Biosciences. And that one's just pulling back, but will probably be set up for next week, maybe the week after. So we'll look at it. It looks like it's just going to kind of run around and set up there. Silo Pharma. This one's looking good to try to get rolling again. I would keep an eye on this ISLO Silo. That looks like it's going to be moving in the morning, guys. Only had 36,000 in volume, but looks really good right there. So I would keep an eye on that. And SLE Super League Enterprise looked really good. I was looking at this right before I came on, and it was looking like it wanted to roll up there. So SLE does look solid. And there you go with our laptops. Let me make sure I got everything. 1 second here. Let's see. Let me see real quick. Boom, boom. Let me just go through the messages real quick. ATHA, you got it, John Wong. I don't even know that one. I'm not familiar with this, but I'll tell you what, it's looking pretty solid, real fast without even blowing it up there. Um, Ran up the other day, it just kind of pulling back, but I'll tell you that 20's trying to hook up on it. ATHA, let me take a look. Little flat, just getting there. Um, if anything, maybe tomorrow it pulls back a hair more into like that 44 cent area. It's at 47, and then it just touches that 20. And then next week, I could see that bad boy trying to roll ATHA, but we can keep an eye on that for sure. I mean, it's right there in a good spot. You see the 20 is going to come up for it right there. I mean, it's definitely hooking it up. Just took a dip yesterday, didn't help it. That's what happened. Now that I'm looking at yesterday, just kind of beat it down. Not saying it really would have popped much higher yesterday, but it was keeping some momentum and it might have not came down as hard. So now today's trying to get rebounded back, and tomorrow it may pull back a little bit, touch that 20 and try to get set up. So that's what it looks like at the moment on ATHA. So we'll see how that one. And again, I can take a look at that with no problem. And here is buy the dip, buy the options. There you go. That's funny. Laptop travels, but yeah, the onions on McDonald's were the cause. So Sergio missed Wint. We did that, I believe, very first one of the first ones. So let me do it again for you. WINT. And we're looking to see if it tries to bounce tomorrow, to be honest with you. The 20 is not far off, but it came down today. It's at 113, the 20. And then this pulled back into the 84s, but it's sitting right there on that bottom. It's either going to drag that line tomorrow and try to wait until next week for that 20 to come back down for it, or it's going to try to bump up tomorrow and meet the 20. So, not exactly sure which one it wants to do. Obviously, we're going to look at it in the morning, see if it's trying to make that bounce. If it's not, I'm going to say it's going to drag it. And then next week, Wint will probably have to get set back up. So, another one, basically 2 days ago, it came back. It ran up pretty good. And then not even yesterday was the problem, the 22nd. So, yesterday didn't destroy it. The 22nd did, but it just didn't really have that momentum kept on Monday to keep rolling. So on the 21st, so it could definitely get set back up. It looks like it wants to. It's just a matter if it wants to bounce back up tomorrow or kind of wait until next week. And that is WINT for you there, Sergio. And JAGX, let's look at that bad boy. I always like the Jaguar. Here we go. That one looks like it's just pulling back now. I know when we looked at it not long ago, because it was like around 124 area, it was like gonna run up to that spot. Let me see. Um, Maybe in the beginning of October we were looking at it and it was just getting ready, or right before that. And then it was getting ready to run up there, and now it just looks like it's straight pulling back there, John Wong. So I'm not so sure JAGX has any run in it right now. Oh wow, wait, let me look. Hold on. My chart looks completely different. This is October 24th, 116 to 112. What my chart say? October 24th, 114 to 120. My chart looks way more set up than Finn. I gotta look on this now. I mean, on Finviz, it looks like it's just going to collapse. And then I just popped mine on it. It looks like it's about to pop. So let me look at that in the morning, John Wong. I'm writing Jag X down. I know that one well. I've told you that was one of my biggest hits, and I was way down on it. I averaged it down. Not that I do that now, but yeah, I averaged it down, and it ran from like 40 cents to 450. So it was like a huge hit, and I had it like way down under 40 cents. So that was a crazy one. And yeah, wait for that uh JAGX for that downtrend to break. It just kind of started it, to be honest with you there, John Wong. So I'll keep an eye on that one as well. And I saw you had what, UNCY. Let's look at that bad boy. I know we looked at this the other day. It was up a penny right there. And oh, that one looks really good, actually. I kind of remember looking at this. I do remember looking at it the other day. On mine, it looks like it's coming down. On FinViz, it looks great. Total opposite than the last one. That's hilarious. But still just sticking at that support line at 39 cents. I could see it easily rolling off. So let me look at this one in the morning. I'm writing this one down too. UNCY, just to get a better idea for you, John Wong. So I'll look at them in NKGN. That one, I don't know if I'm familiar with that. NKGN. No, definitely not. NKGen Biotech. And let's see. It looks like it's in a good spot. The 20 wants to grab it and curl it back up. I think this one doesn't look bad. NKGN. I could see this getting moving tomorrow. Yeah, that doesn't look bad for tomorrow, John Wong. So we can keep an eye on that one as well. And boom, there we go. Let's see. Um, did I miss anything else? I think I got all them bad boys. And there's UNCY. Here you go. I just posted that one for you guys, UNCY. But yeah, that one just like I said, it's just it's like right there. I mean, it's sitting on the 20. It looks like it wants to cry. It looks like it wants to roll up. And then I look at mine and it looks like it's coming down hard. So it's just two totally different looks. That's pretty wild. Let me just look at see what this one looked like. Yeah, I mean that one looks good too. But that's probably the FinViz or close to it anyway. So the one that Laptop Travel just posted an NKGEN. Which one? NKGN. Yeah, that one actually looks really good, guys. So take a look at that one, NKGN. That one is pretty much setting up right there and gonna get rolling off of there. So I think so. I think it is. It's sitting right on that 20. And like I said, if that one doesn't do it tomorrow, just let it kind of get cruising around there. But that 20 should hook it up, and it's got that hard line. It ran hardcore on the 17th. I mean, it went nutty on that day and really never kind of lost steam, to be honest with you. So I can see that one really running there. So there you go. And boom, I think we nailed it all tonight. Let me just check here on the messages or let me see. ISLO. Which one's that? ISLO. Let me see. ISLO. I don't even see that. I don't see that either. Hold on. I'm not sure which one that one is, but I'll find out for you. And boom, there we go. I think that's everything there. And sorry the thing cut out on us earlier. I think I hit the end button on accident when I was going into my into the app for crypto. But there we go. I think we nailed it all. And here I'll tell you what I think is looking. HRYU is looking really good. PENN. UCAR is looking great. CLSK is looking great. SMCI is looking really good. SXTC, we're going to be looking at LSB, and that SNOA is looking really hot. TARA is looking good, TARA, and that GRI I got to keep an eye on. I know I wanted to look at that bad boy in the morning because that one looks like it's trying to curl back up there. So we got a couple good ones, and obviously our big cappers. We'll be going through them in the morning and knowing what's going to happen with them. And it is a Friday. I don't really like to hold a whole lot over the weekend, but we will take a look at things. And like I was saying, kind of looking at things with a different perspective on more or less what options are going to be fired up and paying out the most. So the little news stories here are bond yields decline as Asian stocks fluctuate. Data suggests that U.S. economy to grow at encouragingly, I can't even say that, encouragingly, that's a weird word, solid pace. And let's see, markets be calmed because eyes are on Japan. And the stock futures are a little changed after S&P 500 snaps a 3-day losing streak. So there you go. Let me look on stock twits real quick. Hop on there and just see what's trending. MNPR. What the heck is that? Didn't we just look at that thing? Yeah, monopar. That's that one. Okay. Maybe that's where I saw it on here and I looked at it. VKTX. Let me just see what that is. VKTX. Oh, Viking Therapeutics. We just looked at this one too. That one popped up big time there. Um, that one's way down. CPRI. Deck. What is Deck? I don't even know what that is. DECK. Decker's Outdoor Group. This one's kind of dipped down, but setting up. We might have to keep an eye on Deck right there. Let me see what it did in the after hours here. DECK. Yeah, it ran way up there, didn't it? It's at what was that? 172. It opened at 153, and this has it at 152 to 169. Yeah, it ran up in the after hours. It's a footwear company. I thought it was like a construction company. Um, QS, NTLA's way down, PCT's up, Val, and Fun is way down. So there you go. Nothing really that crazy there. So let me just see if I missed anything over here. And boom, I guess I got it all. So I think we got it all. That's a solid market recap for our Thursday. So thank you everyone for hanging out and tuning back in after it dropped out. So Laptop Travel, thanks for all your help. John Wong, you always send over great stock tickers. Appreciate it. Who is that? Miss Magadona. Awesome. Um, Energy is everywhere. How are you this evening? Of course, we have our Bong Pre-Chan. Appreciate you hanging out. Money. O'Hare's Bastard Child. I love some of the names. Sergio and Jennifer Lee always sending over great stock tickers as well. I always appreciate everybody hanging out. And again, I'll be on at 7 a.m. for pre-market. We'll break it down. I don't know if there's anything real crazy tomorrow going to be going on, but that's perfectly fine because we had a pretty damn good week this week and last week, and they're getting fired up. I'm telling you, as we get in closer to the election, what are we like 13 or 12 days out? I forget what it is, but it's going to get fired up. And you know what I've been saying, and it looks like basically every analyst is hopping on board with what my prediction was 3 months ago. And like I said, I'm not predicting anything. I'm just telling you what the stock charts tell me. Um, as I posted earlier, I'm not trying to change anyone's vote. You vote however you want. I'll never try to do that. We're all adults and we make our own decision. I just tell you what it says and that's it. So some people don't agree with it and but you can see it's pretty accurate. I guess it's not always 100%, but it's pretty damn on the money as you guys can see. So I just tell you what it's telling me and there you go. And that EFSH is way up too. NXU is way up. Here, let me look real quick at this because there's a lot of top gainers that we've looked at here. Um, NXU, EFSH is way up right now. Z car is getting moving. That one we looked at earlier. Here, I'll just look at the scanner really quick and see if there's anything going on. Just because I was just kind of cruising around taking a peek at it as I was talking. NXU, Tesla, LGCB, we already know that one. Anything grabs my attention. That QLGN, I'm telling you, take a look at it in the morning. It could do a little bounce. It's on here. Um, I'm not saying it definitely will. Like I said, it doesn't jump out at me that it has that look, but I'm not saying it can't. CNSP, that CNS Pharmaceuticals, this looks like it ran up crazy yesterday and then pulled back. It kind of looks like it wants to try to curl back up. So we'll have to look at that one in the morning. And then our quantum scape, American Airlines looks like it's pulling back. Um, that NIO is going down. TVGN, that one's way in the top. I'm telling you, Ford looks good, guys. Lucid Group's going down. And there you go. What's this TC? That ran up big time today. Tuna Che. Let's look at it. That went crazy, huh? I don't even know what this is. This is a China company that went nutty today. It ran from like 143 to 430. I have no idea what that was up to, TC, but that was definitely too cool for us. So there you go. That's our market recap right there. And boom. And Energy is everywhere just sent me. He was asking, oh, Silo. That's the one you were asking about. Sorry. Silo is looking really good, actually, curling back up. It was kind of pull. I think Silo gets rolling back up there. SILO. It looks really solid right there. And yeah, I just used the scanner from FinViz. I actually made my own, and I built my own scanners and charts. I talk about it through TrendSpider, right? Yeah, TrendSpider. And I've been using them, and I'm actually going to tweak them a little bit more this weekend. It was part of my plan because again, I'm kind of looking at different things for options now and zeroing in. Of course, I'm going to have the same setups as I always had, but I just want to try to see if I can zero in on the most profitable ones each day. So just something I'm gonna look at. And but yeah, I'm just hopping on FinViz. Like I say, I've used it for like 20 plus years. I just built my own stuff in the past year, and probably because I had a brain injury and I was just like sitting there and something that I always wanted to do. And like I said, I'm just like, screw it. What do I have to lose at this point? Let's just try it. Just like I said with the options. I'm like, what do we have to lose? Let's do this. Let's learn it. And yeah, I'll jump into whatever and let's learn it and master it and just start crushing it. So that's how I look at things. And I kind of always did. Like I said, the last year were definitely a little different and I'm adapting, but I think these options are the way to go, to be honest. I know people have been telling me for a long time, and I'm sure futures are even better because that's what everyone's always said. But I think we're going to crush some options in the next few months and really have a fun holiday season, as I was saying back in the summer. So we'll do the option show just so everyone's on board and has a little understanding because it is a little confusing and they don't make it easy. Like I said, it's more intimidating than really confusing. And that was more or less my issue for all these years was I was just intimidated. I just didn't understand it and I was just kind of scared to jump into it. And now just like screw it, let's do it. What is it? It's just a couple bucks and let's roll with it. So like I said, it's turned out to be a blessing and being great. So we'll go through all that stuff as well. And there you go. So any questions, you guys let me know. Try to answer anything I can. And there we are. So appreciate everybody. Oh, I think somebody asked me to see one more. What is it? ITRN. I'll end with that guy. ITRN. What's that? I don't even know this one, but it's an Israeli company. And it is just pulling back right there to 20. I think it's going to kind of pull back a little bit more. Let me take a look. ITRN. Yeah, we'll have to see tomorrow when it comes down to that line, the MACD. We'll have to see how it lands on there. Whoever asked Shell 12. Let me look at it tomorrow. Just we'll see how it comes down. I don't think it's going to be popping off tomorrow because it's going to have to come down and kind of curl back up, make that move. And if that 20 can get curling back up, it'll be solid. So I can take a look at that in the morning as well. And that's not, I'll jot it down. ITR. What was it? I just N. Okay. ITRN. There we go. And boom, there we are right there. So, everybody, thank you again for tuning in. Have a great night. And I will be back at 7 a.m. to crush the market again for tomorrow. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be a wild market tomorrow, but it is setting up. We're getting closer to the election. And as I've been saying, we'll nail these options and get everything cruising. So thank you, everybody. Laptop Travel, John Wong, and the rest of the crew. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will catch you guys in the morning. So have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you at 7 a.m. Good night.